Alrighty, we are back in the Sunless Sea. Now, the last time we were here, we may or may not have accidentally boosted a cult into prominence and power when we helped out the diplomat go and get the Dawn Machine instated as an official religion. Unfortunately for us, that apparently meant the ousting of our lovely, lovely admiral, which means we no longer have a free source of fuel. We are going to have to pay for all our fuel. We are also not going to be paid for port reports anymore, which kind of saps a major source of income. Now, we did end up getting lucky in one regard, and that was with lamentable relics. We have tons and tons of lamentable relics, 253 lamentable relics. Unfortunately, I can't quite think of a way that we can turn these into something profitable. We can turn them into, let's see here, one of the study materials. I believe that's the anatomical cabinet that lamentable relics turn into. And I do recall that actually crafting this each time gains you 7 iron. So that is a way to farm our iron up very quickly. But we'd have to get rid of this. I do know there is a sale option somewhere. I believe, looking at our charts, it was in Wither that the sale option for that was actually available. Yeah, the anatomical cabinet sells for 100 echo there, which isn't much, but assuming that by selling this we don't lose out on the iron that we gained, which could very well be the case, equipping this does give us 7 more iron, but I don't know if it's the crafting process alone that gives you iron and whether or not that only does it once, or if it's actually the property of having an anatomical cabinet in general. I assume by the fact that you can sell these that you can make more, but we really have no clue. We also managed to get an element of dawn, which did slow our ship down significantly since it actually ate up 7 of our crew members, which put us below half at that point. But we do have the element of dawn, and for that, we need to go all the way down here to King Eater's Castle. We also have to pick up 40 Stygian ivory, which we'll do over in the Chelonate or the Khanate, the Gamp Hole, maybe. One of those locations. We need to go pick up that 40 Stygian ivory, which will take up a lot of cargo space, and bring that down to King Eater's Castle, and we should finally be able to craft up the engine that our tireless mechanic has been urging us to get. We also have to talk to our passenger here that we bought out of wisdom, and that is the unsettling sage. We didn't actually talk to him last time on account of us being afraid that we would lose him in some way, but Chad has assured me that that is not, in fact, the case. You can't lose him by talking to him. So we'll actually open this up by talking to him here. But it seems he wants a strange catch for that, which we do not have. Other than that, just some supplies. So once we go pick up the strange catch, we can probably trade our live specimen here for a strange catch at the Utter Shroom, should we pass by there. Yeah, the Utter Shroom would be the best option there. We'll go ask him about his existence, really. Other things that we need to do. We currently have a color, I believe. Yes, we have the star shell egg-looking thing. Apparently, a Judgment's egg may have hatched from one of these. Because it says something about, did a Judgment hatch from this Grim Relic? We have had Judgment's eggs before. I thought we had one now. Perhaps we lost that at some point. Oh no, here it is. But this fulfills the Gant color, I believe. And that is one of the 2 colors remaining. The only other one is Violent, and we've definitely seen Violent ink somewhere. We just can't quite recall where exactly it was. So we'll have to go and do that. We also have the Mushroom Wine, Dark Drop Coffee Beans, and the Firkin of Prisoner's Honey that we've been meaning to deliver to the impolite investigator over in Hideaway. It's been a long time. since we've been over there, to go and soothe his ills. Because he saw the beast in Hideaway. I think he was a bit depressed by the fact that the beast seems to be in pain, with the Hideaway denizens controlling it via, I think it was a series of shocks. But regardless of what it was exactly about that situation that made him a little depressed, we're going to go give all those as a gift to him. I might actually grab some more firkins of prisoner's honey here, just to trade in the Utter Shroom for more Blemigans. Because our propagation, we did get the original 7 set off, but let's see if we can find it here. That did lower our propagation levels to a little bit lower. So we aren't getting Blemigans as payment for, or as a part of port reports. I can't seem to, here it is. So we have, I think this one, 3 Blemigans abroad. So that is a propagation level of 3, and we need another 7 to have them give us that second gift that we saw there. We've also got our Scion here, and I don't know if we've actually stopped off at our lodging. I think we have. Yeah, I think we have stopped off at our lodging and talked to our Scion here. We went and created him, and then shortly afterwards inspired him a little bit by giving him one of our outlandish artifacts here, and that boosted his interest in the sea by 7, I want to say. Now, we can keep giving him more. Somebody said that this was one of the better options for increasing his desire to go to sea and actually turning him into a Scion. But we can also just give him cheaper things like Memories of Distant Shores or Z Stories, if we have any. Yeah, we've got fewer of those. Maybe we'll keep giving him outlandish artifacts if that's one of the better options. We could also give him a Judgment's Egg, but those are exceptionally rare, so I don't think we will actually go that route. As for our voyage in the immediate term, I do want to fuel up and fill up our supply. We went to the surface last time to grab 50 supplies that we could trade to the Grand Geode for that element of dawn. So we are only left over with, I think it was 6 supply in our hold. Yeah, 6 supply and 14 fuel. That should be enough to get us around a little bit. But I think I will make our way over to Rack first. We'll head to Rack, and we will pick up fuel and supplies over in Rack. Port reports no longer have any tangible benefit, as far as I know, with the Admiral gone, but we'll still try to pick them all up. Maybe collecting them will be useful for something. We can probably trade them in Low Barnet down here, though that is a location that wants stories from all of the underwater locations, most of the underwater locations. There are a few that it does not care about, but we can use those there. We can use specific port reports, such as Mount Palmerston in Adams Way, and presumably there will be port reports of other locations that we can talk about. But I think the first stop we will make is Rack. We'll double back, probably through the salt lines, maybe through Hunter's Keep here, to get to Venderbite, so we can drop off that color, then up to Witherer Codex, which I believe was the very last request the Admiral gave of us before he disappeared off the face of the earth because of that cult. We'll go to Wither Codex to see if we can pick up that strategic information that he had rumored was there. After that, I think we'll head on down to Demu Island. We can pick up some food or a crew member there, because we are only at 20 crew, which doesn't leave us with a lot of spare. Then up to Antha. We actually need to go to Antha for the nearly dead man's final letter delivery. We need to give a letter to somebody in Antha. And that will finish off his quest. I don't think we'll double back to give that to him immediately. We'll probably save that for later. On from there, we do have to go to Guider's Morn, so we might just sail straight south to Guider's Morn to deliver our shady passenger here. What is she? A shady sort who wants to go there that we picked up in the Melting Isles down here. And since Guider's Morn is so far down here, we'll probably just head over to Port Cecil, We still don't have the final object for the principles there, for the conscious coral, I believe it is, that wants to not be conscious anymore, which is a Lorn Fluke core. We still don't have that because we haven't encountered any Lorn Flukes when we've been in condition to fight them. But we'll stop there nonetheless, grab a port report that may or may not be useful to us anymore. And then at that point, we have two routes here. We can either head down to the Utter Shroom to trade some firkins of Prisoner's Honey for Blemigans, as well as to convert that. Oh, actually, we don't have a live specimen to convert. Hold on here. Scratch that. We'll actually probably just head straight up to the Khanate. Just to grab port reports and stuff there. We can also grab vital intelligence, etc., etc. with our spy network there. Then to Khan Shadow, just in passing, the Chelonit or the Gant Pole for the Stygian Ivory that we'll need to pick up. And I think we might skip over the Gant Pole for now. I was going to convert our... Oh, hold on a minute. Hold on just a moment. No, we can't skip the Gant Pole, because in the Gant Pole we can convert that live specimen here into 7 strange catches. Now that takes up a lot of space in our inventory. However, I think we should be okay if we ration our fuel and supply space, especially since we will have dumped the shady sort, probably sell off the anatomical cabinet over in Wither while we're there. Yeah, nothing really else we can get rid of. But I think we should be able to make it work. We'll just run a little bit low on other things there. Yes, we'll kind of zigzag our way across the north side of the map, make our way down to Hideaway to drop off a firkin of Prisoner's Honey, a Dark Drop Coffee Bean, and a bottle of mushroom wine to the impolite investigator there to cheer him up. Then we can roll over to the Utter Shroom to trade off the rest of those firkins of Prisoner's Honey. We're gonna be a little rough on space then. Yeah, we're gonna be very rough indeed. Let's see what we can offload. Let's see what we can offload beforehand. Maybe we'll take the take a different route. We'll go to the Utter Shroom first, trade those firkins of Prisoner's Honey. I'm thinking of bringing 3-ish, specifically for the Utter Shroom, so we'll have 4 total firkins of Prisoner's Honey to trade for Blemigans. Maybe we can offload some Blemigans elsewhere. We tried the Chelonit at one point. We already did that. I think we dropped one off at the Gant Pole. I suppose we should be able to see in our journal here with the propagation here. No, it doesn't look like we actually did. So we can actually drop one off at the Gant Pole over there. Khan Shadow has been done. Maybe the Khanate itself will be able to pick one up as well. So we'll be able to clear a little bit of space for that. But eventually, no matter what we do, we will hopefully end up in King Eater's Castle with 40 Stygian Ivory, and our sage, our unsettling sage, talked to, so we can figure out what his deal is before we get there. If we don't end up doing that, that's a bit unfortunate, but it's not the worst thing in the world. We'll trade all of them for an engine, presumably. Maybe the sage is just helping out. Maybe he'll become a officer of some sort, but I kind of doubt it. I feel as though that's probably not going to be the case. He'll probably offload there because he is in our cargo hold, not in our officers' slots. So we'll go pick up that fancy engine. We'll come back, maybe passing through Varkas. Definitely going to Adam's Way with our sunlight box, our mirror catch box full of sunlight. And that will be that. Speaking of things being themselves, we still need to get one more thing before we actually go there. Go to King Eater's Castle, and that is Sapphire, which is way out of our way. The one for sure location that I know we can get sapphires is in Port Carnelian. Shoot. Yeah, and Port Carnelian is way out the way. There's a lot of locations in the eastern side of the map. For instance, the Chelonit, I think Dehoot, or maybe it's Polythreme. They all buy sapphires at a pretty decent cost. That does very much mean that they do not sell it. Dang. So maybe we'll cut things down a little bit. Maybe we will plan for 2 journeys here. First things first, we will do a little run to everything on the eastern side of the map. We'll go down to Port Carnelian, we'll pick up some sapphires there. We'll head to Adam's Way to go and get that sunlight-filled mirror catch box traded off for, what was it, a cockatrice? Some kind of bird. Elegiac cockatoo, that's the one. An Elegiac cockatoo for our bandaged poissonnier. That'll clear out that. We'll stop off at the Isle of Cats, so we can deliver that prisoner for whatever her needs are, and whatever rewards we get, we can always detour to see where exactly we need to deliver those. Then we will head up to the Shepherd Isles to drop off our passenger there. Up to Rack probably to restock, or sorry, not the Shepherd Isles, to Guider's Morn, and then maybe to Rack to restock. If we do need to do that. Maybe Nook or Antha would be a better option to restock. Since we do want to head up to Antha to deliver the letter, then to the Undercrow to deliver the information about the letter, then Wither Codex to Venderbite, and back here. So we'll sail approximately halfway across the Sunless Sea here, and then head up. And then we'll make our second route, going straight across, I think, to the Uttershroom to go and trade some firkins of Prisoner's Honey for Blemigans to propagate more of the area here. Then up to the Gantpole or the Chelonit to pick up that Stygian ivory, down to Hideaway, either up on the way through Hideaway or down to a Hideaway to go and trade out our Firkin of Prisoner's Honey, Dark Drop coffee beans, and a bit of wine. And down on, maybe through Savior's Rocks, probably won't stop there. It's quite the spooky area. Maybe the Empire of Hands. It's been a long time since we've been there. But we can go past some of this eastern edge without having to worry about taking a trip to Adam's Way, Isle of Cats, all that thing. All the way to King Eater's Castle. Yes, we'll take 2 trips here. One short trip and one far trip. And hopefully, things will go well whilst doing that. Okay, so let's load up on something we can offload on our way. Now, our most immediate location is going to be Port Carnelian. I think the best option we have to offload there is probably just casks of mushroom wine. We'll need to make sure not to sell all of them. That event, we really should have bought the Dark Drop coffee beans over there, but we weren't entirely sure that we were planning on going there in the first place previously, so oh well. Yeah, it looks like the casks of mushroom wine are the only, the best thing to go and do while we are down there, go and trade. Alternatively, we can go try to find a trade over in the Isle of Cats, if that does have a trade location. I don't think it actually does. Then perhaps the Corsair's Forest and Guider's Mourn. Anything for positive trade there. They do want quite a few items. Firkins of Prisoner's Honey, casks of mushroom wine. But none of those are really big options. Yeah, none of those are particularly expensive options. Barring Firkins of Red Honey, actually. Firkin of Red Honey does sell for 625 Echo there. And if we're passing by the Isle of Cats, we might actually end up with one, because that is where the red honey is manufactured. But we've also never carried one around, and I feel like that, you know, that might be something we can turn into violent. Because red honey is kind of blood, right? And the violent marks where blood is shed in a spired place. Maybe we got to bring red honey over to King Eater's castle. Maybe that's where we can get the violent ink. Maybe that's where we saw it before. But yeah, so let's prepare and set off for our short western edge of the map trip. I think we're probably good to set off without too much preparation. We'll head over to Rack first and get everything done over there. Keep all of this. Perkins of Prisoner's Honey. Apparently they only sell for one more bit of cash in Guider's Mourn. So we'll want to trade in casks of mushroom wine then. How many should we bring to trade? You know what? No. We're optimizing way too much out of this. Let's just make sure that we're all done in Fallen London. I think we are. I think we have done everything that we need to do here. Maybe beyond trading something to the Alarming Scholar. I think the Lamentable Relics traded to her were not very effective at all. I think those were really cheap. I think they were like 5 Echo. Got another lump of blue Scintillic. Got that Element of Dawn. A strayed component of a strayed star. Interesting. Oh, we can probably give her some intriguing snippets, though. 50 Echo? Yeah, those aren't too bad. We'll keep 2. And the Voracious Diplomat. We have 3 moves in the Great Game. We'll probably hold on to those. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. And obviously we don't have anything for the Brass Embassy. Okay, so we'll stop dilly-dallying. We'll stop second-guessing and everything. We'll just go and head out. Firstly to Rack. And I hope that purchasing from Rack is not turning its situation worse, because we did take a long time to go and get ships sailed over there to go for the Rackers to wreck them? Or is it Wreckers still? Not quite sure. But we have improved their situation quite a bit, which has given us these exceptional trades that they have, the exceptional fuel and supply prices that they are giving us. And I hope that buying fuel and supply doesn't decrease that situation at all, because I think we were just about on the cusp of having it function properly, of being a functional society. For now, though, we'll just sail over to the Salt Lions. Luckily for us, our terror is at 0. Can't quite recall why it's at 0. Perhaps we weren't that high off in the first place. Maybe it had something to do with us going to the surface last time. But we'll go stop here, we'll grab the port, and I suppose pick over the encampment. Will we? Yeah, we will. Fuel, supplies, and a little bit of terror. That'll do us good. And then we will submerge and head over to Rack. And I don't mind spending a little more time underwater now, especially since we do have to send more beasties to the Fading Haruspex. She didn't have any updates for our request for the 6th witness when we went over to her after we'd sent a behemoth stash over to the Gant Pole. So I think we just probably need to send more beasts. I think that's how we'll progress the 6th witness's quest there. That way she can do more... what's the term? More fortune-telling. And I think a majority of those beasts that she wants mostly killed and sent over to her were underwater creatures, I think we've determined. We're over at Rack. We will compile the port report for the location and consider the state of the city, which is fine. That'll open up the shops for us. Let's go and buy our fuel and supplies. I think... Just so we don't have to go out of our way, we might fill up for what we estimate to be the entire trip here. So that would be, what, about 30 fuel? And let's say a little more than half that, like 18 supplies. And I think that should satisfy our trip requirements in terms of fuel and supply for this first short trip. Now, romantic literature, we can buy here and actually sell at a slight profit in Port Carnelian once we make our way down there. Let's check on the map first. Yeah, quickest route to Port Carnelian is really just going straight south, so I think we will do that. I think we shall. So let's go grab our romantic literature to top ourselves off. We'll make a small bit of profit on them, only 2 echoes profit, but that's more than nothing. And that's still a very, very nice bit of profit to have. And in Rack, I don't think we have any new things. Oh, we can head to Gutter's Morn. We're already going there anyway, so that'll be great. We could also taste some more tether, but we've already set the king to be an old friend here. Let's go check if our ships have come in. Yes, they have. And I wonder, now that the king is actually our friend, is there any new information to have? I kind of doubt it. Let's just check here anyway. Oh, there is. Interesting. So I think we've already looked at a grandfather clock, a red curtain. Don't know about the theater poster. Yeah, there's a lot more information here. Okay, let's check on the jocular gentleman. In another tether vision, he promised to buy you a steak. Tether melts in your mouth. The steak is delicious. You clear your plate. God bless America, you groan, leaning back. Imagine, you say, if New York were dragged underground like London. Well, we're going to hell anyway, your friend replies, but I'd eat my shoe before I ate a mushroom steak. It could always happen, though, you argue. How could they not want New York? Your friend shakes its head. Paris, my friend, city of love, that's what they're after. New York, you insist. Paris, he argues. Would you like to make another bet? The jocular gentleman laughs and shakes your hand. Accepted. Loser eats a mushroom steak. So apparently, the Neath actually wants cities? Or are they providing it a bit more consciousness than the Neath actually wants? It could go either way. The Neath has been very seemingly conscious, yet not conscious. It's a duality of nature, and we really have no idea which things are true. But I think that'll be us settled at Rack. We're all done there. So we'll go and head it down to Port Carnelian, maybe by way of Pigmote Isle. Hello, you. Little putter pony we know is not hostile. So we're not quite sure what they're doing there. Oh. Oh, it's the vortex. It's the whirlpool. Oh, okay, that was actually solid. Whoops. Not entirely desired there. And that looks like a wreck. Is it a wreck we can salvage? The boat looks very broken, so I think it is. Yeah, look at this. I think we're probably safe to enter this wreck. A silent wreck. Encrusted protrusions of coral fix the wreck's anchor to the Z-bed. The bow is shattered on the rocks. The anchor chain groans in the current. So we can enter the wreck or leave it well enough alone. Judging by the progress of the decay and its outmoded plating, the ship has lain here since soon after London's fall. This may not be wise. It looks like it'll only risk one crewmate, though, and we can sail on 19 crew. And we're planning to head back to Fallen London anyway, so we can always pick up more crew. Both here and... both in Fallen London and actually at Guider's Morn, which we will be passing on the way up north. Or back south, actually. One of the two ways. We'll go ahead in. You don your diving suit. Your airline is extended to enable a thorough exploration. There we go. As you pick your way across the Z-bed to the wreck, you notice a weak light shining from within the ruptured bow. It illuminates a shoal of fish skirting around and away from the wreck. The cargo hold is yawning wide, offering easy entrance. Your bosun is to remain outside while the rest of you go in. She will sound the time in sevens. Be out in 14 minutes, she warns. After 7, the fear sets in. Twice that, the hallucinations. Thrice that, you'll go dark. No coming back. Okay, so we've got to carefully check this. The wreck groans as it resists the current. Footsteps come from above and below. Your crew just ahead, surely. Enter the boiler room. Enter the cargo hold or leave. Let's enter the boiler room first, since it seems a little bit more safe. The door hangs ajar. The frame has suffered corrosion, but the hinges still hold. Coral-shrouded furnaces line the walls. The coke has whitened and compressed. It resembles clusters of small teeth. Ooh. The part of the far wall has collapsed. Inside, a long, hollow tube has been discarded, part of a welder's torch. I think we go further. The ship shudders. Something large must have passed by. Go deeper. You press on through the muck. An old lantern crashes down an iron stairwell. Your foot must have caught it as you turned a corner. You follow it down and find yourself on an unfamiliar deck. So we've succeeded on a mirrors challenge here, and we are now at 3. He said at 7, fear starts, and at 14, we should return. Where to go? Let's explore the cabins. We'll keep with the safer of the two options, though it is still a challenge. We still only have a chance of succeeding in this. The crew slept on this deck. There are chains across every bed, though no bodies lie beneath them. Every cabin is the same. Every bed burdened with change. Every room otherwise berefit of the accoutrements of the living. Interesting. We'll go further. I think we've got one more try here. And it looks like the only option here is across the observation deck. It is almost broken in two, half tilted almost vertically. Support beams and long cables chain the wreck's halves together. You slowly swing a beam across the gap. It has lasted this long. It should take you crawling across it. Below, the ship lies open like a discarded muscle. Jagged metal and rock wait. Your cabin boy swims across before you. He does not look back. And fear will start after this. We are at 6 now. 7 is the threshold where things start to happen. I think our terror is okay, though. I think our terror is acceptable. So we'll go and enter the bridge. You will have to swim upwards. It hangs precarious before you. The bosun's bell rings out. All around you, floating pages from a journal. The handwriting is familiar. You push onwards, illegible writing pressing against your helmet glass. Your engineer swims past you, sinking down into the wreck. And this will be our last, I think, adventure here. Go further. The ship shudders. Something large must have passed by. Go deeper. Oh, and a failure here. You make for the port stairwell. The compartment, the bulkheads, the portholes are revealed in pale milk white. A ship passing in the waters above. The light goes as suddenly as it came. You are plunged into abyssal darkness. So I guess that was a failure. We still haven't actually increased in the inside a wreck anymore. Yeah, but we're really failing on this one. There we go. Finally, a success. Let's enter the captain's cabin. The door yawns. Do not do this. Well, we might as well. You enter, cross the room, look down at its occupant. This is you, chained to the bed. This is your face, bloated and blotched. These are your fingers folded, nibbled by fish. A crewman is pounding on your arm, your living arm, not the dead one, swollen and pale. The count is up. He drags you away back to your ship, the living ship, not the dead one broken on the Z-bed. A woman sings clearly in the deeps, the airlock, your corridors, your cabin. You sleep. Once you wake, dreaming that you were held down with chains, but it is only your blankets heavy with sweat. Oh, we got a Searing Enigma from that, but we did lose 3 hearts, which is not great. Gained 5 terror. The Searing Enigma, though, we have gained 7. I think 7 actually turns into a Dread Surmise, so we can actually go and, assuming we accumulate the other options for the Commodore, Vital Intelligence, 50 supplies, 7 crew, the figurehead of the Eater of Names. We can actually go to the Grand Geode and get our Aestival sunlight blocking mechanism from the Commodore there. Because we can turn, I think, these 7 Searing Enigma to a Dread Surmise via the Alarming Scholar. I think that was the trade. Maybe it's 11. Maybe it's 10. Because it's 10 to trade from a Dread Surmise to a Searing Enigma in Irem. We shall see. But I think that was definitely worth it. And we should be coming up, if I recognize the shape correctly, to Pigmote Isle, yes? Yes, it looks that way. How curious. Yeah, they definitely... Wow, that was weird. We found us chained to the bed. How strange. But, we have another nightmare, and we will just flee that. Ooh. Which is a failure. We did at least lose the menace, along with a restful night, which is not great. So we are now at 40 terror. We'll stop going under the sea here. And we will see if we can get rid of some terror, maybe in Port Carnelian. Maybe in one of the other many locations, because I have a feeling trading our imprisoned crewmate in the Isle of Cats is probably going to shoot our terror up, regardless of what we do. I don't think that is a positive option for sure. But we will go look along Pigmote Isle. Naturally, there's nothing here, which I'm still so very sad about. Oh, Pigmote Isle, I led you to your wholly unfortunate fate. Wholly avoidable, too. I really should have made you side with one faction or another instead of telling you to hoof it on your own. You didn't have enough might for that. It's a mistake we will not repeat. At least not in this playthrough, especially since we can't in this playthrough, but in future. We will go for might and civilization, I think. Spirit is just something that needs to be kept high enough. We'll go and sail through this area. We won't stop off at the Iron Republic at the Grand Geode. Actually, since Rack has fuel prices so cheap, getting to the Iron Republic for fuel is not really a necessity anymore. How goes the sailing? Well, we just explored the ocean floor and determined that we found our own ship wrecked and ourselves chained to the bed in the wreck, bloated and dead, which is unsettling, but we got a searing enigma for it. You feeling the lack of port report fuel yet? No, not yet, because we have not returned yet to fallen London. We have still set off to the seas. Oh. Those birds will... Oh, we're way too far east here. Those birds will cause a mighty issue, though. They find us. 400 and change health on them, so we don't want to tangle with them at all. Luckily for us, doesn't look like they're heading our way in the slightest. That's creepy. It is very creepy. It is highly unsettling. But it is what we found. Okay, and we are in Port Carnelian. So first things first, let us offload all our romantic literature. Don't need even a 1. Then we will buy a single casket of sapphires here. Was it a story thing or just a random event? It was just, as far as I know, a random event, finding a ship down there, a shipwreck, that we went and explored. It was very concerning. But we'll go grab our casket of sapphires. That is really the only one we need. Now, in Port Carnelian, we might as well stop by the Heart's Cross House with the governor there, who is always pleased to see you, and his cook makes admirable scones, which was not the case before we went and got Port Carnelian's loyalty to fallen London, but it is now. We'll go grab the port report from him that we can no longer turn in. A friend in high places. Since the colony's change of fortunes, the governor has swapped his unassuming bowler hat for a towering stovepipe. He laughs often. His watch chain is gold, not silver. He gives a full account of recent events. A tap of his nose or a wriggle of his eyebrows alerts you to the matters he cannot discuss more explicitly. And I suppose we can seek some intelligence here. Great, gain some more vital intelligence, and immediately check what else our spies need. Diplomatic agent? Yeah, sure, I think we're carrying one anyway, right? Though it will be a high-risk challenge. A failure, menaces of the white and golds, and suspicion in general. Really? No word. When you next call on your agent, you find her apartments cold and empty. A lamp has been knocked over, the floor is scuffed. Interesting. Well, that's a bit of a shame, but... Oh, you're kidding. Should have kept a single romantic literature. Okay, a bit of a shame, but we will know that we have that. I think we're all good on fuel and supplies here. We've got nothing else to do here, save maybe reducing our terror a little bit so we can safely travel the Z floor. I think we shall. It's only 20 echo, even if it only lowers it slightly. Let's visit Murgatroyd's Imperial Tea Shop. Behind the windows, spoons clink on china. Home away from home. They import the doilies from London, but the tea is local, blue and smoky. The crumpets are warm, the tablecloths white. You can almost imagine you were back in Vale Garden, except for the tiger lounging on a divan. It laps tea from an azure bowl and complains about the recent nostalgic trend in poetry. So that's 5 terror for our 20 echo, which is not much, but it does add up. And we will go and set off from here, I think, over to the Isle of Cats. Ah, shoot. We probably should have brought more firkins of prisoners' honey, shouldn't we have? Because we are visiting the Uttershroom here. Or we are getting close to the Uttershroom. I suppose we can always visit it on our second journey off to the eastern side of the map. But for now, we'll head over to the Isle of Cats, then up to Guider's Morn, by way of a few other places, perhaps. Then to Nook and Antha. And we've actually got a lot of Nook, how to say, corruption? Freedom, I think, is the technical name. So we'll try to go as deep as possible in that area, risking wounds, perhaps. But only one. Only one, of course. We'll try to go as deep as we can into the belly of the beast since we've got so much tolerance for Nook water. And I think we determined last time that leaving that area did not actually take as much tolerance to Nook water as entering it. We didn't have to do each individual section again, I think. But anyway, to the Isle of Cats. We'll skip over Igel for now. And of course, that unfortunately involves us going past where those birds were, and possibly through this fog. The birds, at the very least, seem to be non-present. Go and turn off the lights for now. So, I think we are out of the fog here. Yeah, so we'll reduce our terror pips a little bit. And we'll slowly make our way over to the Isle of Cats to go trade out that prisoner of ours. Crying Heights were the Blue Prophets. Call the names of those who are about to die. Aren't these birds the Blue Prophets? Hold on a second. Hold on just a flying bird second. That is unsettling. I never made that connection before. Oh, for the love of... The man who stole the Sunless Sea has found his way into the cargo hold and opened a mirror catch box. The box is empty now. You... We really need to stop our sailors from opening these mirror catch boxes. They are majorly eating into things. So now we'll have to go and actually get a another bit of sunlight, which we'll probably do over an Aestival, which of course will risk a wound, which is very, very unpleasant. I'm going to throw this dude in the brig. You won't get your sunlight back, but at least you've shown who's in charge. We've got 2 prisoners now, and an empty mirror catch box. At least we don't have to buy another one of them. Oh, there's a Lorn Fluke. Do we go after it? I think we do. Carefully, we must approach this Lorn Fluke. You don't want to let him off. There's a possibility you could get Salt's Curse. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Back. Keep going back. Whoa. Oh, ow. 20 damage. Okay. Still doing okay. Ow. Keep backing up. Luckily, that doesn't do too much damage. It does 2 damage, I think. How's our ship doing? Oh, our ship's doing totally fine, actually. We've got tons of damage to spare. Okay, I don't want to back up anymore because those Blue Prophets will cause an issue. We've got the Lorn Fluke. Finally. Alright, how do we get the core out of here? I guess it'll be a Page's challenge, but it is a 75% chance. Hopefully we get it. The Lorn Fluke is destroyed. Its pulpy flesh shivers with the energies of its failing language. Language? Oh. Already it is disintegrating into the waters. Examine its corpse. Dangerous, but what an opportunity. a success. The delicating body is full of incomprehensible organs that collapse at your touch. You sketch what you can, cocking ear to the departing harmonies of its violent language. At its center, you find a vast lump of resin or congealed gall the size of a barrel, flawed with darkness. In the false starlight, it is a deep violet purple. Irigo, your doctor whispers, the color of forgetfulness. Oh, so that's actually another color. We gained 3 secrets, not too bad, and our colossal flute core, which we can pass off to the principals. Oops. And we ended up basically where we came from. We only took about 50 damage, which is not that bad. Terror's still doing fine, probably from killing it. Yeah, we did not too bad. And the stars are changing. Unlucky, 2 terrors. Ow. Well. Dang, that's a shame. We'll just make our way over to the Isle of Cats. We've got 2 prisoners to trade to you. Isle of Cats lady, to see what you will give us for them. Fuel is doing okay. Food is doing fine. Supplies are doing well. But here is the Isle of Cats. If you always have a secret compartment equipped in your ship, that'll make it so the mirror catch box opening events never happen. Is that so? Ah. Okay, so we do have the secret compartment. Unfortunately, that takes up the mile breaker slot, so that would result in us losing our 10% efficiency bonus from that, which is a bit unfortunate. But tending the rose garden. This, I believe, is the option here that we need to take. Before you is a garden washed with blood, a sea of petaled crimson. They say that these particular exiles' roses are a variety crossbred with a flower from hell. That would explain the stench of brimstone underneath the sweetness. Winding paths lead to irregular rows of cages, each covered in a tangle of thorn and vine. Some of the prisoners inside cages call out to you. Others mutter to themselves or weep. A few simply stare, hopeless and silent. Good, you're here. Zaira snips a rose head with her shears. I'd like a new addition to the garden. Could I borrow one of your crew? Well, have one, really. I doubt you'd want them back after. And we will not offer the Irrepressible Cannoneer. We will give her a prisoner instead. It was getting tiresome anyway, having to feed them and listen to them sob. A bit on the scrawny side, but there's a market for depressing memories as well as lovely ones. I suppose that will have to do. We've gained 5 terror, which I kind of expected. 100 fragments. Not too bad. And I suppose let's walk with the Lady of Cages. Well, actually, let's go grab a port report before we do anything. Yeah, and it looks like we can buy a shipment of red honey if we have the keys to the cage gardens. And apparently no more than 1. But let's go see what a walk with the Lady of the Cages has to say. Leopold has a particular fascination with the surface. He still thinks of it as home in some ways. Endearing, isn't it? She doesn't wait for your answer. Personally, I've drunk the memories of so many homes, I couldn't pick a particular one out of the lot. Tricky things. Still, it does make him easier to buy birthday presents for. Have I muddled this up? I did say I set up for a meeting with the king for you, didn't I? Well, I did. And, let's go bring Leopold a gift. Someone with memories from the surface. It's not his birthday exactly, but you'll want to make a good impression. Your patron dismisses you with the advice the Cumaean Canal is the likeliest place to source such a particular gift. Okay, we have a new quest here. The secret compartment adds +1 cargo security. If you have 0 cargo security, then the zailors might open the box. Ah, I see. Hold on, that's not the case there. I'm pretty sure secret compartment adds. Where's that at? Oh no, we have a concealed compartment, so that provides contraband concealment. Okay, so I guess the secret compartment is a different thing. But we have this colossal fluke core, and we are passing by the principals anyway, so. Anyway. Anything new in Port Cavendish? Or, Port Cavendish, in the Isle of Cats? I don't think so. Suppose we can check in here. Yeah, nothing new there. She did tell us to go to the Cumaean Canal. What was it? Of course, we made the mistake of not writing this down while the actual quest was open. Go to the Cumaean Canal. Grab somebody with visions of the surface, I assume? Makes it so if you have an unfinished clayman, when transporting, you don't lose any zailors. Oh, and it's officially called a secure compartment. Okay, good to know. And they want us to get somebody with a gift of the visions of the surface. I assume that's just visions of the surface, right? We have those. Maybe they want a person specifically that they can kind of suck that out of. Unfortunately for us, we now have an excess prisoner, and I'm not quite sure what to do with them. Apparently, I think the zailors will still try to get the sunlight if you have a secure compartment, but it's a much harder check and also a different event with different results. Oh, okay. Still, that'll probably be better. So what to do now? Our terror is a little high. We could drop off our prisoner at the Sea of Lilies. I don't know, is it worthwhile having a prisoner to keep here? Perhaps. So I think present plans. We're going to stop off at Visage just to grab the port report, even though we can't really use them anymore. We'll head over to the Sea of Lilies to drop off our prisoner. Then to the Utter Shroom to trade our single firkin of prisoner's honey for a single Blemigan. Not the worst thing in the world. But that'll give us the opportunity the next time to come back over there with 3 more. And that should finish off that quest. We find locations to drop them all off in. We'll go to Hideaway. Yeah, that'll be the second trip. Utter Shroom to Hideaway through Aestival. That way we'll be able to fill up that mirror catch box full of sunlight. Fill it up with sunlight, because it is currently empty. Then up to the Chalanet. And down, maybe through the Empire of Hands to King Eater's Castle. Yeah. We need to start planning. Need to stop planning so far ahead in the future, though, because we always end up forgetting or changing where we end up going. For now, we just sail the short trip over to Visage. Should just be over here, right? Yeah, there it is. There's the dock. This is Visage. We're not going to go in. We're just grabbing a port report. And across to the Utter Shroom, yes? A little bit north. Maybe Sea of Lilies first. We'll go drop off our prisoner. I don't know if it's a good idea to keep the prisoner for anything. We don't explicitly have any quests that require a prisoner, as far as I know. So I'd rather have the cargo space and have to take care of him elsewhere. Ooh, a bound shark. Sure, we'll take it on. And I am going to keep my light on, just because I don't want to waste the charge time here. It is apparently a particularly tormented bound shark. I don't know if that actually changes anything about it. Ooh, just shy of hitting us. Got us that time, though. We should be able to take him on. Oh, come on. Go grab it. Okay, we got a strange catch. We'll go take him down. So, I think we've never, even with the success, we've never actually discovered anything other than fragments, I believe, from examining the cage armature. I really want to know who is doing this to them and why, but I don't think this is the way we'll learn that. So we'll just grab the supplies off of it instead. Oh, and we actually get an unprepossessing mass off of it, which gains us some supply and a hunting trophy as well. Its torment ended with its death. You have more immediate concerns. I'm terribly sorry for you, bound shark. Tough and gray. The shark meat is dark, springy, and oily. These are not encouraging properties for a meal. Nevertheless, your cook perhaps can make something of it. And what's this in its gut? Well, let's go smoke it. There's probably something horrible inside, but possibly there is not. Suitable for smoking, you can probably preserve this to eat at your leisure. Edible once roasted into submission. It will serve, but the smoke brings a kind of horror, a waking dream that the kinesthetic sense of vast things coiling and crushing lightless black. I really have no idea what is binding those sharks. I would really, really like to know, but I don't think we'll get an answer from just dissecting it, because we have succeeded in that before, but it just didn't give us anything for it. Let's go and dock. And we'll go grab the port report from here and hand over our prisoner. Oh no, we'll pay you, the unctuous fellow says. We can always find a use for another pair of hands. We get lonely, you know, lonely. What awaits your prisoner? Someone somewhere is screaming. The unctuous fellow clucks sadly. Gruel on Thursdays. Someone really doesn't like gruel. Is it a Thursday? I don't know. I lose track. Perhaps then the gruel's a little nasty. Thank you for your contribution. We've gained 100 echo, 5 terror, and cleared our cargo space for that prisoner. And I don't think we need to grab fuel or supplies while we're here. Let's head over to the Uttershroom, across to Port Cecil, and then to Guider's Mourn, then to Nook, where we can refuel everything. Restock and refuel. I think we should be good with 14 and 8 to head all around there. I think that should be fine. We'll head over to the Uttershroom, convert our prisoner's honey into a blummigan. It is just the one, unfortunately, but we lacked the foresight. Or maybe we didn't, but we got unfortunate with it. I don't think I'll fight that actual shark. He's a bit out of the way. We just fought one and got not a whole lot from it. We'll just make our way over to the Uttershroom. I like how it's like, I know we're fighting a shark right now, but let's go catch this other thing off the side of our ship as well. You know, sometimes you just get distracted. You're in the middle of fighting a big shark, and you're just like, ooh, what's this thing in the water? Let's go pick it up. But we've made it over to the Uttershroom. And we'll go and trade some honey for blummigan supplies. Perfect. We'll gather some intelligence, and we will not experiment with our strange catch. Yeah, we don't really need to do that. We've already got a live specimen to trade. Let's visit the village, actually. Memory of distant shores. Okay, not too bad. A day of stories. The central contradiction of the Shroomer existence. They hate the Uttershroom, but they're willing. They'll do anything to avoid leaving. Monsters. Today, they're telling the story of how they came here. It features a shipwreck, a rain of orange jewels, the mother's blessing, There's a great deal about adversity and survival, the wistful hints about their homeland somewhere to the west. Huh. But a memory of distant shores is not too bad. And actually, since we have that strange catch here, let us go converse with the unsettling sage. Yeah, we've got the supplies for it. Let's invite him to dinner. His tastes are piscine in the extreme. PISC is the, I want to say Greek root. Piscus is like fish from that, I think. I just have no idea to pronounce how to pronounce that word. Oh, whoops, not that way. Let's go talk to him. A candid discussion. I am accustomed, he admits frankly, to being used as a tool. This is what your mechanic will do. No matter, I am in his debt. My people made me as a repository of secrets. It will be a relief when that ends, but until then I shall keep the secrets a little longer. Still, your company is pleasant. This is for you. He hands you a nodule of deep amber. It is warm to the touch. We've gained an extraordinary implication, 100 echo. We've now learned a little bit about him. So can we talk to him again? We can give him a story. Tell the unsettling sage a story. Yes, something about the lands I have not seen. Half-closed eyes. That is good. Yes, let me tell you something of the sea. So we got a Z story for a memory of distant shores. I'll accept that trade. Yeah, and it looks like that is the only option I have now. So apparently he's a repository of memories here. And he's going to be used by the mechanic. So I guess we were correct in the fact that he's not going to stick around with us after we trade him for the engine. But he seems very much in line with that. He seems like non-existence doesn't bug him much. In fact, it's something he might pursue, like the principles. I was looking at the benefits of having cargo security, as there's actually an interesting random event that can occur with cargo security if you're running definitely not Sorrow Spider eggs to London. I don't think I'll do that anyway, but good to know. But yes, that is our business done at the Utter Shroom. Let's go head up to Port Cecil here. And we'll actually finish off the principles here, the principles stuff. You want me to just tell you about it? Yeah, sure. I don't think I'll run that. Anyway, I assume that the spiders might get loose and you could just seal them in there or something like that. Okay, we are reaching the outskirts of Port Cecil with the principals. Oh, and we have to cry again. Lovely. Our terror is going up. As if you're running the not eggs. Yeah, it's the trinkets, just trinkets thing. We've already done that once before. We didn't have anything bad happen at the time. But I was kind of concerned that we might. It ended up being okay-ish. We have to head a little bit north to get to Port Cecil. See, around this? Or, yeah, around this to get to Port Cecil. We'll dock there, and then we will do our last interaction with the principals. I wonder what's going to become of the Nacreous Outcast here, because he is serving the principals. I don't know if they, like, resurrected him or just saved him in some way. I really don't know what's going to happen, because he did mention being indebted to them significantly, sort of the same way that some people have said about being resurrected from the dead. So, kind of see what's going on there. If you have the cargo security, and only if you have cargo security, there will be a 50% chance of having them hatchet attack. Okay. We'll go gather some intelligence. We'll drop off our Blemigan ashore. Are you certain? Mesmeric silver. The Blemigan doesn't hesitate. It scurries to the rail and leaps to the coral hillock. The coral trembles, folds, and subsides beneath the water. The Blemigan is gone. A mashed tendril floats on the surface. So did we succeed? I'm going to say that we did. But let's go give our extra move here to give the principals a fluke core. Oh, my cousin, my enemy. I was of their kind before I began my descent. Now you see me as I am. But I would be so much less. I would dissolve on the waves like old foam. Help me end, kill my emissary. But not until... What? But not until we are ready. Kill my emissary? I don't want to kill him. He seems nice. Here's your scintillic. My emissary recalls how it burnt. See him flinch. No matter. He will end when I do. Now here is your secret. The sea lords you slay... These sea lords you slay, they give themselves for the drowning feast. Kneel and I will whisper you a fragment of their recipe. Secret, a colossal fluke core gone, and 7 scintillic gained. Along with 2 terror, of course it did. I think he means the emissary is the fluke core? No, definitely not. He's referred to the Nacreous outcast as his emissary multiple times before. And he's mentioning how he sees him flinch. The fluke core is not alive. I don't want to kill the guy though. I guess let's finish this. The last game. Maybe I have a chance to save him. Maybe I can save him somehow. The last game. I will miss chess most when this is done. The black waves, my children's glows, let them pass. But oh, my sweet diagonal, it's time. Afraid I find quickly, the board awaits. The emissary trembling takes his place across the board from you. He will dissolve with me, the principals tells you consolingly. It's for the best. You must win this game. Defeat him, and he and I will end. I will leave some treasure. Hurry, my thoughts grow burdensome. I don't want to end him. Oh, I can do that. Okay. So he wants us to win so that his mind, the principal's mind, and the Nacreous outcast, unfortunately, will be destroyed with him. But I don't want to do that. Yeah, and win the match, the principals will be reduced as it desires to a mindless hump of coral. The outcast stands trembling behind the board, ready to enact the principal's moves. Its mind will be destroyed with its masters. I definitely don't want that to happen. So let's lose the match. We won't gain treasure or secrets, but we don't have that much need of it anyway. I mean, maybe it's just treasure. I think he just said treasure. Wait, don't lose it right now. Wait, why would I not lose it right now? I think the outcast dies. He loses well? No, no way. Lose the match. You are enmeshed in an alien scheme. Perhaps you mistrust it. Perhaps you pity the outcast. Whatever your motives, you will throw the match on purpose, leaving the principals trapped in consciousness, defeating the whole purpose of this. Defeating the purpose of this whole quest. It does? Oh, come on. Really? I don't want to kill the Nacreous outcast. This seems like it'll definitely kill him. But it does. I looked it up. Both will kill him. Ah, dang. Darn drat Kistenblast. I guess we don't kill him? You can wait until your captain is about to retire. Yeah, I suppose I could do that later. Okay, let's leave it. Let's leave off on this. We're just gonna leave. We're not going to play right now. And I suppose we may as well explore the Coral Knot with our something awaits us. I suppose we might as well. Oh, and the Dawn Machine is doing Dawn Machine things. Let's look around. Memory of Distant Shores, more terror. Christ, our terror is skyrocketing here. Wait, never mind, I'm a dumbass. I knew that both options wouldn't kill him. No way does it kill him in the choose to lose option. If you choose to lose, he changes to the Nacreous Survivor. Yeah, that makes way more sense. There's no way that it would kill him while explicitly offering it. Well, okay, maybe in this game it might, but I didn't think it would. We will abandon the principles here. I am not at all attached to the principles. Like, we've been helping them out, but that's more on us just doing tasks. And I am way more attached to the Nacreous Outcast here than I am to the principles. You'll lose out on a bunch of stuff, though. What stuff is the question? It's really, really good? Like, unless it's so good as to be unobtainable any other way, I really want to stick to the Nacreous Outcast. Because he's our friend. Blue Scintillic, secrets, more Scintillic. I don't need more Scintillic. Blue Scintillic we already have. Yeah, no. I am just going to I'm going to save the Nacreous Outcast here. Let's throw the match. You're enmeshed in an alien scheme. Perhaps you mistrust it, perhaps you pity the outcast. Whatever your motives, you will throw this match on purpose, leaving the principles trapped in consciousness, defeating the purpose of this whole quest. Infinite regret. You make a foolish move. Another. Hope dawns in the outcast's moistly shining eyes. The principles rumbles as it guesses your intent. The outcast twitches with delight. It moves its night. Your kin is imperiled. Now I regret, the principles sighs. Now, at last, I regret. I regret trusting you, stranger, and you, my emissary, who was almost me. The emissary makes its final move. You topple your kin. The cave around you is silent. The outcast straightens, taller than you have ever seen him. It extends a slippery appendage to shake your hand. Together, you climb the steps back to Port Cecil. The principles never talks to you again. We gained an Apossian chess piece. We gained a searing enigma and a memory of distant shores. We may have lost out on secrets and Scintillic, but we gained the Nacreous Outcast here as a friend. And with that, I am perfectly satisfied. And it looks like the Apossian chess piece, we don't actually need this anymore. We turned in some blue Apossian for the Apossian color. Blue Scintillic. Yeah, a lump of blue Scintillic for the Apossian color. Our officer, is he still with us? He is. Hearts 8, pages 4, mirrors 4. So I think he actually got everything duplicated, I believe. 1 Vigilant Idol, 4 lumps of blue Scintillic, 12 Scintillic, and 21 secrets. Vigilant Idol we don't care about, we can make it. Blue Scintillic, it's nice, but we can only use one at a time in battle, so it doesn't really matter to us. Scintillic I could care less about. The 21 secrets is a little rough, but I say that the Nacreous Outcast, now the Nacreous Survivor, is still worthwhile. Still worth more than all that. Let's speak to him. And apparently he will only accept our proposition if we have enough Scintillic. Not really into the squid folk. Don't really go that way, so we'll call that good. But we're done. We are done with the principles and his quest. Its quest, I suppose. It will have to suffer existence for a little bit more. You want me to? No, I can't do that. I have somebody awaiting me back home. I can't sleep with the squid man while I have a child back home. No, that's not gonna happen. Apparently Port Cecil still has the option to put a Blemmigan ashore. We already put one and it got crushed. I'm sure they'd understand. Hentai is probably a thing. Was Japan in contact with Europe in the 1900s? What is this? The late 1800s? When did Japan become majorly involved there? I have no idea. But your character's hat has tentacles. You're not wrong, actually. I was actually thinking that was just his hair. I just thought he had a really, really unruly hair. Um, I have somebody back home though. I don't want to lose my possible scion. I want to have that scion in case things turn out badly, or we end this captain. I think scions do good things for our captain's legacies. But we finished with that principal's quest, so we're all done here. Fuel is doing all right, and supplies are okay. I think we'll head to Nook before Guider's Morn, though. Will we? Maybe we'll pick up some here. I think we should be able to buy fuel and supplies here, right? Maybe we'll take just enough to get to both locations. Well, I think this should be enough to get to both locations. They're not too far apart from each other. I'm more concerned about our terror at this point. 66 is pretty high. Especially if we're going adventuring in Nook. Maybe we'll see in Guider's Morn if we can reduce that somewhat. But we'll go and set out from Port Cecil, avoiding that moray up there. Since we're in a fog bank, keeping our light on doesn't really help our situation. No reason to fight that moray, though he seems very close on our tail. Can he see us? No, it looks not. Looks like that's not the case. But we'll go make our way across to Guider's Morn. Oh yeah, this place is super close. We'll definitely have enough fuel and supplies to make it from here to Nook and stuff. Turns out that getting hitched with a very bad spy, with a likely lass, and having a child actually reduces your number of romantic... Well, it doesn't technically, but it morally reduces the number of romantic entanglements you can have. At least I'd say so. But we're at Guider's Morn. Let's see. Obviously, we won't buy anything like this here. I might sell the concealed compartment. It's actually not doing too much for us right now. Oh, right. We'll go send some more folks to Rack. Drop off our passenger here. The shady sort. She inhales the air and smiles, perhaps for the first time. As I remember it, she remarks, less mud, more rum. Are there infinite clones or something of you? Because we've definitely dropped you off here before. Business concluded. At the winch head, a deferential fellow in fustian, I'm not sure what that is, waits. He bows to the shady sort, a pleasure as ever. You he barely favors with a glance. He presses a heavy purse into your hands. Small coins, stained with salt water, but together they amount to a tidy sum. 120 echoes, and an empty hold space for us. And we won't gather intelligence here. Instead, we'll spend an afternoon with the errant limpet. Right? Actually, we can probably do both. Though we were unfortunate. So, what happened this time? Scarecrow, Scarecrow. You're eavesdropping on the captain of a lean black cutter when her first mate spots you. In the ensuing fracas, one of your crew is smashed through a flimsy wooden wall. He falls 200 feet to be impaled on a smaller stalagmite in the shadow of the morn, and dies instantly. It's a painless death, but his slowly mummifying corpse will hang there for decades to come. Ships will salute it, successive generations of children will name it, rename it, fling stones, dare each other to climb the pinnacle, and kiss its fleshless hand. Well, there goes a crew, but we have the port report and a tale of terror. And we'll go spend an afternoon at the errant limpet. Your drinking den by the dock cradles is a good place for your crew to find companionship and let off steam. But although Guider's Morn is a free port, the Corsairs prefer their own and look askance at respectable Londoners. Ah, okay, shame. Cold shoulders at the errant limpet. Conversation quietens. Quietens? That's a new one. As the drinkers look around. You've been here too long and you're attracting the wrong kind of attention. Time to move on. Conveniently? Question mark? Conveniently for us, our terror is already higher than 50, so it didn't... terror is already higher than 50, so it didn't change. I mean, do you need the port report? I might as well collect it. I'll just collect them all. Maybe that'll finally get our Horizon Codex here to work. At the very least, future captains will have this forever. And I think that's all we can do, all we should do at Guider's Morn. What are we doing now here? We're at 67 Terror. We're planning to head down into Nook. We've got the mushroom mine for it, actually. I totally forgot about that step, but we conveniently had one because we were preparing for Hideaway. Yeah, I think we should be good. Let's go and set off for Nook this a ways. And we will stay above the water for the most part, because our terror does mean that the constant companion could encounter us at any moment. High terror is worrying. I don't think we gain terror when we're in the maw. I think we just have to lose, what was it, the glowing something while we're there. Every time we go down, we risk wounds, yes, but I don't think terror is something we have to worry about there. Nook, as a whole, doesn't really concern itself too much with terror. They're too busy having a hedonistically good time. Yeah, but we should be safe to submerge here. With that lovely, lovely Port Cecil music around us. And our something awaits us coming back just as we dock. Wonderful. So first things first, let's buy our fuel and supplies. Oh, we can actually get Stygian and Ivory here. And actually just as cheap as at the Chelinet. Hold on a moment here. So prior to this, we'd planned to go to either the Gant Pole or the Chelinet to go and get the Stygian Ivory, which would result in another northern push here. If we don't do that, can't just head across here. We're still in line with Hideaway, so we can still visit there, and Aestival to fill up that mirror catch box. And we'll be heading across the north side of the map to go back past Antha and all of this anyway on our first trip here. Maybe... Okay, so we probably won't get it now, but maybe we settle Nook as our pickup point for the Stygian Ivory instead of the Chelinet. I totally forgot that you could get Stygian Ivory here for cheap. That's actually really good for us. I don't think we have anything else to do up north on the northeastern side of the map. I think we're all good in terms of doing that sort of stuff. So, yeah, we good. Okay, good thing to know. Good thing to remember. Anyway, we'll go enter Nook here. Before or after getting fuel and supplies? Let's get the fuel and supplies first. So fuel's a little expensive. Supplies are alright. But we need to get them regardless of what happens. We'll just buy enough to get us home. So, that for there. We'll buy fuel up in Antha or Mount Palmerston. I think that'll be good. We'll just get enough that we can safely get there without having to worry. I think 10 and 10 should be good, and we can fill up more fuel while we're actually there. But let's go into Nook. Let's return here. You have the measure of the place now. You've learned that liberal ingestion of wine before a visit increases your tolerance for Nook water. We have 12, which is a ton. And we are now stripping off our clothes and swimming and breathing. Let's go compile the port report. It'll use one up, but I think we've got plenty now. And swim downwards to the serrated abyss. How much phosphorescent nodule do we have? I don't know. Let's keep going down. can apparently intimidate phosphorescent nodules from the Nook folk. So we do have... Well, we would be able to if we had 2 more memories of Nook. I think we should be okay for now. I think we have a ton. I'm pretty sure I remember us having quite a few. Let's go down the gullet. Yeah, we've got 22. We're totally fine here. And we'll keep swimming down. 20 tolerance for Nook water at 1. And a slipstream to go even further down. Risking perhaps a wound. We'll risk it. Okay, no wound for us. Still none. Still none. So I think this is just letting us skip the check for using phosphorescent nodules here. Depths of the maw, no more than 8. We have 5. Okay. We're now at 5. We want to reach the bottom, I think. Okay. Hold on a minute. Okay. Try fruitlessly to dive deeper. You've gone as far as you may. Hold on, there's nothing here? I thought getting to the bottom would have... What? Oh, come on. I can't believe that this happened. Well, I think I'm gonna... I might as well try. Okay, well, let's abandon that, swim all the way up. I can't believe that. I thought we would get some fancy treasure at the bottom. I guess there's just nothing there. We'll swim up, which won't cost us anything. We have, what was it, 2 left? Yeah, 2 tolerance for Nook water. We can sample some nookweed. And I think when we next head to Igel, we'll go and remove some of our tastes of Nook, or whatever it is, freedom of Nook, because that is the location where we can actually remove that with the needles there. So what the heck? Let's sample some nookweed. A circle of Nook folk scrape what looks like thin algae from the smaller teeth and chew it like snuff. Their eyes flutter, then bulge, brimming with visions. We shall do the same. A memory of space. Your vision darkens, then floods with light. Nook is not freedom. There is no freedom down here in the black belly of the earth. Freedom is above the thin blue shell of the sky, out in the stirring, shining reaches of the high wilderness. Once you surged between the suns, you recall swelling suns and golden thrones, and the writhing world of now. You coil in this pit, on the bed of this little sea, and sleep and dream of the winds of nowhere, and stir and sleep again. You are growing hungry. Oh, we gained some terror. Okay. Gained memory of Nook. We lost our tolerance for Nook water. Ooh. You stayed any longer, you would never leave. Okay, so that's a problem. We gained 5 memory of distant shores, though. Let's swim up and leave. Return to the submarine. And I think, yeah, we've actually got enough here that things are going to become a problem for us. Return to the crew. The air is uncomfortable in your throat, cold and thin. The crew murmurs as you pass. Your buttons are an irritation. You abandon the last 3. Your collar itches intolerably. You tug it loose. You are perhaps not regulation straight as you proceed to your crew quarters. Everything all right, sir? A crewman asks warily. It's starting to change us. And we have a lot of terror. That is a problem. Okay, let's get out of here and resurface before more problems inhabit themselves on us. We gained Looks like 2 secrets, though, down there. I can't believe getting to the bottom didn't give me anything fancy. Ooh, and we just heard the Vegas edge of that, that constant companion there. We heard the scuttling. We'll go and dock with this lighthouse ship, I think. That should reduce our terror somewhat. We are a little bit, quite a bit higher than I really want to be. Swimming down gave you like 50 fragments, though, and there's no way you can get a wound from that. Taking the slipstream down did. Swimming down, I think, might be how you actually identify things. So I'll just make sure to not do that. Drownies in the water? Of course there are drownies in the water. Let's go drown them out. The roar of our engines. That'll lose us a bit of terror. And unfortunately some health because our engines exploded. I'll just have to remind myself the next time we go to Nook to not try to venture down to the very bottom. Though I think we will not have enough tolerance for Nook water, no matter what, because we are going to clear ourselves of the attachment to Nook here. Now that we're at the light ship, we'll go and give them the recent news so we can have some tea with them. Gain a Z story, lose some terror, which will be lovely. And we'll just sit and chat in the bleaching glare of the lens. Z's terror recedes. And obviously there's no shock because it's just a lighthouse ship. Let's make our way to Antha. I hope that constant companion there is not going to have followed us over here. And how far are we off of Antha? It's a really good way to farm secrets a bit. You're not wrong. We just have to make sure that our attachment to Nook doesn't get too high. Are we clear to dock? I think here will be good. No skittering, so we're fine for now. I'm sure, though, that the constant companion will not be far behind. We'll go dock here in Antha. And let's grab the port, might as well. And visit Rosina in her chambers. Oh, right, she has the, okay. She has that condition, the same condition as our officer, where her soul is on fire, so she needs to stay very calm. Unfortunately, we have a love letter for her. Should do the drowning counterpoint. Well, unfortunately, we don't have a drowning counterpoint here. And I doubt we have the ability to sing. Does she have ligma? Unfortunately, no. She has animescence. That is the term there. No joke for you. Get out of here. But we will deliver her love letter, I think. What's her health at right now? Her health is... I have no idea. Health is at 10, I think? I don't know if higher or lower is better for her. But this is the first proper interaction we've actually had. So I think it should be safe, and we've got a 75% chance of actually doing it, so... Let's present a love letter to Rosina. A wisp of steam curls from her neck at the mention of the author's name. This must be done delicately. I hope you don't burst into flame. A love letter carefully consumed. Rosina will not deny the letter, but at your warning, she takes every precaution. Her nurses prepare fresh ice for the tub. One sings a somber hymn. Another transcribes the letter onto separate pages, each sentence to be administered as the burning lady's disposition allows her to receive them. Rosina reads slowly. She looks in your direction. Her expression is fierce, as though you were talking in church. You step away into the other room until she is ready for you to return. Already you've seen enough. The page in her hand curls languorously from the heat. We've delivered that. And, terrible jokes are going off in my chat. Of course they are. We do need to get these drowning counterpoints. This is not the only location. Both this location and Rack, I think, has the composer. Both have drowny counterpoints here, and that is all gained at Dahoot. We might want to make ourselves a little sharper. Whoops, not what I intended to do. Can try to cultivate it. We do have a 70% chance to get another one. I don't know what a lot of them do. The only one I saw was the lungs, and that is how we can sing better. But I really don't know what this does. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, I suppose. Let's cultivate a capacity for sharpness. It isn't easy to go sharp as the Antheans do, but most who come here find themselves desiring a condition sooner or later. Hey, we can take up another sharpness. Nights of meditation. The environment is a help, but you must also prepare your mind and your will. Going sharp means giving up many sensations. Should definitely get the lungs. That'll help Rosina a lot. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Let your lungs become a chamber of crystal. Breathe less often and more purely. Take on the companionship of divers, opera singers, coal miners, and producers of poisonous gas. Or we could do it in the groin, you know, as one does. But nah, we'll just go for the lungs. The Salon of Incense. The chamber is lined with black crystal. Braziers are lit, and a low haze hangs in the air, troubling none of the inhabitants. Your respiration slows, your exhalations are cold and dry. Ah, and there's more options for us here. So, let's follow the Polythreme Exile. A hulking clay figure is visible through the smoke. It moves away through the opposite door. The speed of unhappiness. You follow. The clay man is moving fast, down several corridors towards the section of Antha reserved for the bone sharp. A sight like that would not be at all extraordinary in London. Most of the inhabitants of Antha seem complacent, possibly even indolent. Hardly anyone is ever in a hurry. A man ducks into the bone barrow. A person would be unwise to follow unless they had their considerable confidence in their own skeleton. Ah, and so he is sharp in lung and bone. Very interesting. We won't risk our crew. I forget whether it's 17 that causes us to go at half speed, or if it's below 17, but I don't want to take the risk here. We won't mingle with the hurriers, getters, and thrusters here. We'll go and set it here. Below 17? Okay, good to know. But we will not purchase any fuel. We'll go to Mount Palmerston, which is just north of us here, to go and get more fuel. And supplies, of course, are doing totally fine. Let's get out of the Neath before that happens. Yes, that. Kindly do not attack me, sir. I can tank it now. But you're still a dick. And I hate you. But we made it safely to the surface, though. Now the music's going to go, ooh, look at the spooky spider that we keep dunking on you. Ah. Maybe one day, when I get a ship, if or when I get a ship that can really smack those things, I'll go and kill that thing. Hopefully permanently. You don't like the giant sea spider who skitters on the bottom of the Z floor? No, I definitely do not like him. I hate him very, very much. Grab the port report at Mount Palmerston. I suppose we might as well explore the island. Oh, look, it's the colony of Blemmigans. Music, could you kindly... Yeah, thank you. I'm trying to read here. Don't deafen me. But we've seen the Blemigan colony again. At the heart of a salty little bog, you come upon a pulsing mound of Blemmigans. They're rich, dark purple like viscera, perhaps, or blackberries. They chitter as they swarm. The sound is like pebbles on a beach. Be careful. A single Blemigan is a nuisance. 100 are a calamity. Let's observe the creatures. Fascinating creatures. Let's learn what you can. And hey, we've actually succeeded this time. I think we've failed every single time prior to this. But a complex situation. They do resemble the fruiting bodies of fungus. The mound itself looks fungal. are the same organism, and they communicate and cooperate. You watch as they drag a marsh rat up the side of the mound, bickering over the disposition of its flesh. And you watch as a half dozen stand on top of the mound, listening respectfully to the chittering of the seventh. It's probably reminiscent of poetry recitals. You take notes. So we got 50 fragments there. Who doesn't like giant spiders? I don't like spiders of any kind, of any size. Large, small, various colors. They all suck, and I hate them all. Yeah, I just don't like them. I suppose while we're here, we could get the zoop for the merchant venturer. I think that is actually one of our quests for him. He needs 7 zoop, and we have the cargo capacity and the money to get that and trade it. Fuel, of course, is our immediate concern. I think 15 or 20? 15. I think 15 should do us well. Scratch that. 20 should do us fine. And then we'll get 7 zoop to go and trade to the merchant venturer back in Fallen London. That is his current trade, either this or the spider silk, which I don't want to go get because spiders are spooky, as I just intoned. And that'll be us done here. Now let's head back to the Undercrow and avoid at all costs the shoot. Avoid the constant companion while there, because that is an underwater location. I think we'll be okay. We can take a few hits. We don't need to keep treating our ship like it's a weak little thing anymore. We've got power now. We have got 10 times the amount of power that we started out with at one point or another. Oh, lovely. And we are totally going to ignore their dreams to reduce our terror a little bit. Oh, has he seen us? Oh, I don't want to reduce my terror like this, though. Come on. I think we outsail him. I think we outsail him here. We'll just leave that on. Yeah, he doesn't know where we are. We're good. Okay, the Undercrow's coming up here. I really hope this event that I'm about to encounter doesn't increase our terror at all. Because this is probably going to be the birth of a moth. Of a tyrant moth here. This is the final encounter with the nearly dead man. We've delivered all 3 of his letters. He did mention that that was his final letter, so let's go and quickly submerge, very much not far out of here. Kindly let us submerge. Really? Come on. What? Where is this thing? Okay, back up, back up, back up. We'll just keep backing away slowly, mashing our submerge button until it lets us. There we go. No constant companion, please. For the love of all things nice and soft and not giant spidery. Okay. We'll grab the port report, as always. Do we want to lie to him about... What response did she even give? I think it's a very poor chance of that. Yeah, I think we'll just recount it standardly. Let's recount Rosina's response to the almost dead man. What did she say? Eagerness is unbecoming on a bulbous cadaver. Tell him quickly. I'm sorry, my friend. Oh. Giddy is an almost dead schoolboy. His wheezing turns to laughter. Even the Aurelian shares his smile. For the moment, a damp cave has the warmth of home. Dying grace. And we've lost 5 terror from that. Okay. Wait, wasn't her response to, like, glare at us? What? Okay, was he playing a joke here? Weird. But let's try to observe this private moment here. A hushed conversation between the incomparable Aurelian and his aging master, a moment demanding reverence and privacy, or at least discreet eavesdropping. We have a 50% chance. Be lucky? We're lucky. Deathbed confessions. The almost dead man's voice is barely a whisper. His friend bends low to hear it. I found the paths the others followed. We meant to retrieve what Nida had stole and share it with all, but a racking cough consumes him. When it abates, he continues. Instead, the mountain gave me a gift of its own. You won't pin it on one of your displays, will you? The Aurelian can barely stifle a damp laugh. Of course not, sir. No spreading board could hold you. We've gained a secret. Now, we get to attend to the hatching here. The final moments of the dead man. Terribly sorry I don't have wine for a dead man's toast here, but... Can you improve it? No, it's just a flat challenge. The almost dead man's breathing has faded to a rattle. Joyless, the incomparable Aurelian says, "It's time." A success, at long last. The passage is gentle but not without horrors. You ensure that pain is kept to a minimum while the incomparable Aurelian sits by the old man's side, taking notes in one hand and holding his mentor's hand with another. There's almost no thrashing. Once everything is still and translucent wings quiver in the cave's smoke, the notebook is filled. Lorenzo's face is serene and empty. Feathered antennae brush across it. Multifaceted eyes regard you with curiosity. Wordlessly, the incomparable Aurelian hands you a small velvet bag as payment, then returns to meticulously reproducing every scale of the most moth's wings in a new notebook. Lorenzo has shed his life. A secret has been received, along with 1,000 echo. I'll take it. Okay, well, that's the end of the nearly dead man. He's given birth, in massive air quotes, to the moth that was in him, the most moths. And, what now? Let's share some tales, I think, with the incomparable Aurelian. He has little company except for his moths. It is enough, but he still appreciates your visits. Actually, no. Let's deal with what's left behind here. Lorenzo, the most moth, stretches its scaled wings lazily. The incomparable Aurelian continues his sketches without a thought of his old master's corpse shell. Drawn to the fire, reluctantly the Aurelian closes his notebook. If I keep the lighthouse fire burning, I could observe you for a lifetime, he tells the moth. But there's a final matter to deal with. He turns to the crumpled remains of the almost dead man. His brother, the factor at Port de Meaux, will want something to bury. He can make do with his husk. With a rush of wind, the most moth flies into the fog, circling the fire and casting flickering patterns onto the cave walls. Lorenzo has shed his life, but his light lingers in his friends. The almost dead man hopes to end a complicated life with clear conscience, and that he has. And we have Lorenzo's husk to go deliver to Port de Meaux, to de Meaux Island, which is not that far out of the way, so we'll be able to be good doing that. Now, let's discuss Lorenzo's passing here. The incomparable Aurelian sits on the stone table that was his friend's deathbed, listlessly staring at his collection. A quiet celebration. Without looking up, the incomparable Aurelian tells you that your assistance has been appreciated. Studying the most moth so closely will be the highlight of my career, he says excitedly. I'm sure Lorenzo would want to thank you as well. A fate worse than death. Looking up from his book of pressed moths, the incomparable Aurelian fixes you with his stare. Lorenzo came to the Neath looking for a way to cheat death. I can't say whether or not he succeeded. I think, even though I'm not quite sure of how I personally feel about it, I think we're going to tell him that Lorenzo triumphed. Some part of him eluded death, and he lives on here. In essence, that may be true. I think he's that moth now. That most moth. But I think it's also going to bring positive closure for the incomparable Aurelian here. You don't want to cut him, kick him while he's down. You want to cut him with the knowledge that Perhaps he lost, but I think that he triumphed. I think that we'll say he triumphed. A triumph over death, albeit a messy one. Life is unreliably pleasant, but it's better than the alternative. Lorenzo found a way to prolong it. It was, after all, why he came to the Neath. The incomparable Aurelian sighs. He has a new life now, maybe a happier one. He closes his collection book with a quiet smile. Nothing is worse than death. And let's share some tales with him. Share tales with the incomparable Aurelian. He has little company except for his moths. It is enough, but he still appreciates your visits. The latest Lepidopteran discoveries. You regale him with stories of the Sea and remind him why he's better ashore. In return, he shares some of the more interesting cave moths he's discovered. He's even kind enough to let you keep a live one whose wing pattern bears a striking resemblance to a member of your crew. Cool. Lost Z story for a live specimen. Not too bad. And I suppose we'll just speak with him one last time here. You catch him between tending to his friend's corpse and preserving a particularly curious cave moth. Quiet and contented, just detailing the latest pattern of Lorenzo's wings. I believe they change in conjunction with the false stars, though it will take some study to be sure. Somewhere high above, you can hear the slow, steady beating of Lorenzo's wings. He returns every so often. Misses the smell of the fire, I suspect. Well, that is the end of the nearly dead man. He is now properly gone and turned into a moth, which, well, that's something. But we have a corpse, or a shell, let's say, to deliver here to Guiders, not Guiders Morn, Demew Island. Deliver to our contact there. I wonder what our contact will have to say about the Admiral's disappearance, if he'll acknowledge it at all. He very well might not. Anyway, for us, we've done all we can do here. Let's set sail and surface quick-like before that happens. And we'll take care not to sink any tyrant moths up here, in case they might be Lorenzo. Apparently, if you keep visiting this guy, whenever something awaits you, you can trade a Z story for either a live specimen, a tale of terror, or an outlandish artifact. Or a tale of terror and an outlandish artifact. That's actually pretty good. A free live specimen is great. And of course, we're crying again. Only one terror, though, this time. But we don't want to do that because it loses us... we don't want to avoid crying because it loses us Salt's... attentions? Favor? Loses us something with Salt, which I don't want to happen. Want to keep on good relations with all the Z gods. We've reached Codex. We will head over to Wither, where we can go sell our anatomical cabinet. And we will grab the strategic information here. And sure, we'll go let her aboard our crew. We're short on people anyway. Oh, that gave us terror. Lovely. And we've got Salt's attention. Grab the port report. And we'll give one lamentable relic here for some unread logs. Why not? We are flush on lamentable relics. I think we can actually sell unread logs too, and they don't take up any space. Yeah, but that's all we need to do here. That's all we can and should do. Our terror is a little bit high, but luckily we're already headed back home. We just need to head across here to Wither. Yeah, terror at 80 is really not great. We'll head across to Wither. We will sell off our anatomical cabinet and check in with the folks over there. in the House of the Question, I want to say? Yeah, the House of the Question, see if they have anything new for us. Nope, they would just give us the ability to gain the attentions here. We'll grab the port report here, and... No, we probably won't do any shore leave here. Well... Nah. Nah, we won't do any shore leave. We'll have that reset anyway. Right? Forget it. We've got spare cash. We've got cash to spare, and it's better to have lower terror than have it all the way this high. Terror can definitely be something that'll just end us outright. Shore leave and Wither. The folks of Wither are quiet and sly and mystical. They subsist on cave fish and the dust burrowing beasts of the waste. Their beer, however, is adequate. Keep a low profile. Your crew follow your example faithfully. One drinks a little too much pale Withern beer and has to be fished from the harbor, and they spend a relatively decorous night gambling for salt and bone, and in return, refreshed. So we've lost 5 terror. That'll keep us out of the worrying sides, but we can go and sell our anatomical cabinet here, so we can craft another one when we get home. And we might buy a supply. Just one. And then we'll be done. We'll be good here. So we will head on back home. We will get ourselves through Venderbite. Oh, actually, Venderbite or Demew Island? Venderbite, I think, first. And then to Demew Island, where we will drop off the now dead man, off with his brother, so that he can bury him. And then we'll head back home to Fallen London. Ah, some Z-Bats. I need a terror reduction. You will suffice. Oops. There we go. And we will gather them up as supply. So let's go dock in Venderbite. We'll turn in that starshell egg for the Gant color. I think grab another captivating treasure. That's been pretty much what's been happening here. I suppose we may as well gather the port report as well. No way in heck are we taking out more tomb colonists here. Let's go visit the first curator and give it a starshell. What is that? Almost unreal. Disappointing, it wheezes. It looks imagined, almost unreal, a memory. But enough. Your payment is there. A human skull sits atop a dusty notebook. I don't want a lamentable relic. What? Get out of here. Get out of here with this lamentable relic stuff. I have 253 lamentable relics, sir. I do not need any more. Give me some captivating treasures. I cannot believe it. Okay, well, whatever. We traded our very rare starshell to get a lamentable relic. I guess we got 7 secrets for it, which is not too bad. And I guess we'll just depart for now. Let's see. Glass of wine? Probably not. Suppose we can explore Venderbite. Carmenite Church? No. We will leave. We do not need to meet any cannibals or cannibal scenery? Yeah, cannibal scenery. We don't need to take in any of that. That's why it's lamentable. Oh my goodness, we're just getting terrible jokes in chat. Terrible, horrific, awful jokes in here. But, should be good with everything. Maybe some more supplies? Nah, we're heading to Guider's Morn anyway. I can't believe the lamentable, or shoot, what is the thing I just sold? The thing that the lamentable relics turn into only sell for 100, and then you get here and you look at monstrous almanacs and they sell for 1,000. I can't believe it. Oh well. But we'll go and... Actually, hold on. How is the Monstrous Almanac made here? Sell it and make a new one. That's what I was just thinking. If Monstrous Almanacs are made with live specimens, that I would not mind doing at all. But I can't recall whether that's live specimens or strange catches. No, the Serene Aquarium must be the live specimen. So we'll not do that then. Even though we can make more, well. You got 10 of them? Oh, are these made with the outlandish artifacts? Okay, in that event, I don't think I will. Because I wouldn't mind trading it for the one that makes strange catches into whatever the study makes them into. That wouldn't be too bad. It's probably the trophy case. But I don't think I'll do that. If it's the outlandish artifacts, those are a little bit more difficult to gain. You need pages? You're not wrong. I do, in fact, need pages here. Anyway, we will go and set off to Guider's Morn. And then we will return home. And maybe we'll blow up more Z-Beasties on the way. Which should be just across here. A little bit to the south as well. We'll need to turn once we pass this rock. And I think we're going to pass this lighthouse. Well, no, we actually can take advantage of a little bit of that light. Should be, yeah, just about even with Demuth Island now. Is this fog that we're in, or is this just a tinting of the seas? I think it's just the seas being tinted slightly. We've arrived at the Iron and Misery Cove funging station, also known as Demuth Island, to go and deliver the now dead man's body to his brother. Let's deliver Lorenzo's remains to the factor. The affable factor receives his brother's coffin solemnly. You counsel against looking within. A moth, you say? Can't say it was how he'd have wanted to go, but I don't think he ever intended to go at all. The affable factor sighs and lights his pipe. The fungal smoke is all too familiar. Knew he'd meet a bad end with that lot. Too much stirring up trouble, not enough enjoying what they'd got. 7's an unlucky number, if you ask me. He rests a hand on the coffin. Thank you anyway. I'll do something appropriate with him. We've gained a secret. And we've lost Lorenzo's hunt. Lorenzo's husk. There we go. That's the word. We'll grab a port report. Will we get food or a volunteer here? I think we'll pick up the volunteer. I always feel bad for him after all. And we're all done here. 3 supplies should be enough to get us back home. We'll maybe stop by Hunter's Keep. Might as well. It'll be right on the way. And then we'll return to Fallen London to set out on our intended trip here. We just have to cross lots of empty sea to get to Hunter's Keep and then to Fallen London, where we can finally get rid of some of this terror. For probably the cost of some Nightmares Menace, some more of that. We've been slowly chewing away at it, even with all the failures and stuff, with the Restless Nights. We've still got like 7 or 8, which is not great. It's not a fantastic amount. Hold on a minute. Will we even stop at Hunter's Keep? We need a something awaits us to reduce that. Scratch that. Scratch that. We won't stop at Hunter's Keep so we can get a something awaits us. Oh. Well. Ah, well. We've made our bed. Let's lie in it. Lie in it. Dive into the abyss. That's actually something we haven't yet done. We haven't explored any of the abysses. I assume that's something with the submariner thing, but we haven't actually encountered any of it yet. That'll be something that we do, perhaps, later. But we'll make it back to Fallen London with 7 fuel and 1 supply in our tank. And we've got nothing to hide, right? Yeah. We're alright. And hey, we lost our suspicion from it, too. It's endgame things. Oh, okay. Interesting. Do we have to have quests for that, or is that something that'll be... You get 5 pages if you go with her. Go with whom? In order. I've got no clue what exactly it is you're talking about, but we have returned to Fallen London. We've boosted our Menace of Nightmare Strength back to 9, of course, which we've been slowly pruning down every time. The grill. We have numerous ones here, though, is the issue. Lots of grills. Something has changed. Yada, yada, yada. Still nowhere to turn in our port reports. We can turn in the Zoop, at least, for some cash. For 1,000 echoes here. Now he wants bales of parabolan or Stygian ivory, which we will be picking up anyway. The grill in the abyss. You're just speaking in riddles now, man. I have no idea what you're talking about. But first things first, let's go home. Let's go to our lodging, spend some time with our family. Actually, let's read the morning papers, and then spend some time with our family. Going to tell our child. Well, we can give him a pet, or we can give him a souvenir. Live specimens are fairly rare. Less so, though, than Scions. Let's just give him an outlandish artifact again. Lost 20 terror. He's now got Memoirs of Z Fever at 14. We need him at 25, I think it said somewhere, to have him become a Scion. And we'll probably want to repair our ship here. We'll go pick up an agent. Got plenty of moves in the Great Games. We got multiple vital intelligences. What do we have in our hold that we can get rid of? Some scintillic. Right, because we picked up some of that from the principles before we abandoned his quest. We should probably rest anyway, even though we've reduced our terror significantly, because we will get 2 restful nights. Just wait and dock till something awaits for Scion. That is an option, but I think we can get him passively, just by returning every time we return to dock normally. I don't want to spend too much time just sitting around too. I don't need to cheese anything too hard. But we've got our restless nights back. We've got our study, for which we can create the anatomical cabinet again. And yeah, we gain 7 iron every time that we make this. So that's actually a really good way to cheese that all the way up. So anytime we go by Withern, we'll try to sell it. Or in fact, for 100 Echo, I honestly don't mind just offloading that and boosting our iron up repeatedly. It's not as though the lamentable relics are costing us anything. They're just taking up space at this point. Max 200. Okay, so that's good to know. I might get it up to something like 150, perhaps. 150, 160, just by tossing it overboard. Like, I know it's good to have here, but what does the saying do again? Nothing. Actually, so a saying actually tells you exactly how much it sells for in Fallen London. You know, I've never successfully used that before, so this is actually the first time we've learned what that does. Neat, though. Let's see. Do we toss it or do we try to sell it? Well, anyway. Rose markets. Yeah, nothing interesting. Only worth 100 up north. Yeah, we just did get that. Toss. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Let's just throw the anatomical cabinet overboard and make another one in our study. Where's our study? There it is. Oh, hold on a second. That uses supplies up too. Oh, that's a shame. Okay. I think we'll do... What do we say? 5? So we'll just pick up 5 for now, and then keep crafting and tossing these. Yeah, it's not losing us anything. Oh, it's losing us secrets as well. Why'd you throw it overboard? Just so we could have it. Since I've realized though that it takes up secrets to use this, I'm not going to toss them anymore. That'll waste a whole lot of secrets that we could use for other things that we might need for other things as well. So we'll only do it there. Totally forgot that it used the secrets. Anyway. Still only got that captivating treasure because for some reason the first curator decided he wouldn't want to give us another captivating treasure like he has with the rest of all of those, but... Secrets are used away. Threw away 7 secrets, basically. Aren't those also used for increasing stats? They're used for increasing stats. They're used for certain checks and stuff. Secrets are a fairly valuable currency. So you do want to hold on to them. Alarming Scholar. Nothing extremely interesting for us. No trades that we really want to make. Barring maybe the live specimen, but I think we'll hold on to that. How's our hold space doing? Not spectacularly. Still confused why you threw it overboard, other than it would use some lamentable relics, which don't take up space. No, so we threw it overboard, so every time we craft an anatomical cabinet, we gain 7 more iron. So throwing it overboard allows it to free up a slot where we can actually use it to craft more anatomical cabinets. But if we have to use up secrets every time, we're just going to eat through our secrets really fast, which I don't want to do. So that is why I decided against it. Talk with officers to increase stats. Yeah, I know. But I think we'll be okay here. Iron is the one stat that we don't really need more of. The other stats are what I'd like to increase. Basically, this was a trade secret for an iron increase by 7, yeah, essentially. So we'll grab the new recruit. We will also repair our ship in the dry docks here. Anything in the brass embassy for us? Thought not. Lodging stuff, all done. We've got our secrets and our child is inspired. We want to pick up some, not fuel, both of these, and then 3 more on top of that. So we can trade those for Blemigans over in... Where was it? In the Uttershroom. So now we'll make one more journey. Not terribly long. We'll head up to Nook to... Oh, hold on a minute here. Okay, so... I was planning on Nook to grab the Stygian ivory, which is the same price as it is in the Chelonate. That may not be the best option anymore, since we are going to Hideaway, or planning to go to Hideaway. Maybe we'll save that for a different day. Maybe we'll save that for a different date. Instead, maybe we'll go to Nook to grab the 40 Stygian ivory, to the Uttershroom to trade our Firkins of Prisoner's Honey for Blemigans, to maybe the Melting Isles or Savior's Rocks. But just kind of making our way over to the King Eater's Castle. I didn't want to keep this to a shorter voyage. Why Sea over Skies? So Sea, I know that Skies had come out, but I did want to see Sea because it is earlier in the series-esque order. I tried a little bit of Fallen London, the browser game, but it's really just a browser game. You've got to wait so long between everything, which is a little bit rough. Got to clear the map. Yeah, there are a lot of areas, but they're not important areas. I think we found just about every port here. But I am eventually planning Mask and Jacket to transfer over to Skies. I think I'll probably do one more captain after this, complete the Zong of the Z, and we'll call that our end game. But we're hoping to end this captain over in Aestival, to have him create the kingdom over there. Anyway, short little trip to Nook, to the Uttershroom, to King Eater's Castles, and then to Adam's Way. Those are the 4 stops that we are for sure making. Everything else is going to just be something along the way. And probably to Igel to go and clear some of our Nook attachment. And that'll be that. And we'll visit Rack to stock up too here. If you visit Adam's Way, you get fragments easy for secrets if you mapped out. Anyway, we are going to head out to Rack. I think, yeah, because we can't deposit our port reports anymore with the Admiral. I think we're all done here. We've got enough fuel and supply to make it over to Rack. So let's head off. And we'll turn our lights off just to save on fuel. Dive and check Abyss? No, we'll leave that for a different thing, a different time. Right now, I just want to get that engine we've been sitting on. We've still got, right? Yeah, the Sapphires required, the Element of Dawn, the Unsettling Sage, and once we get those 40 Stygian Ivory, we will be full up on everything we need. Oh, we're going to have to do some calculated estimations here. Because 40 Stygian Ivory is going to take up a lot of space. Which means we won't be able to carry nearly as much fuel as we want. I suppose we can always toss it overboard, but that's just a bit of a waste of echo. You need Searing Enigmas too? No, we've actually got enough Searing Enigmas. Our Dread our Element of Dawn didn't cost anything, and we've been picking them up just passively, including, very strangely, finding our own corpse in a sunken submarine, or maybe ship, which was highly confusing and mildly terrifying. We've made it just about over to Rack here. So we'll go and submerge now that we're off of the salt lines. It is just a wee bit further than the salt lines are. Maybe an old captain you found? You might actually be correct there. I think we were somewhere around, somewhere between Pigmote Island and Port Carnelian, and that is actually where our previous captain died. Ah, interesting. Khan's Heart is our next wrecking location. We can check for the ships we've sent in. Lovely. Shall we get a drink to a friend? Yeah, let's have a drink with an old friend. The wreckers have salvaged the drink cabinets of many affluent captains. You will be well taken care of tonight. Gained 3 visions of the surface, 2 supplies, and lost 5 terror. So that's lovely. You down ancient brandies with your old chum. Rum sloshes out of your mugs as you make your toasts. The finest absinthe from the surface winks in the light. Between your drinks and each course brought out by the king's chef, you laugh, you confide, you tell jokes, and share fears and complain about how long the curtain takes to rise, but never without good humor as the king brushes aside his snowy hair fallen in his face. And we'll consider the area here and buy some fuel. So how much cargo space do we have? Not very much at all. We need 40 spaces confirmed to get the Stygian ivory. Maybe it's a good idea to do Blemigans and their depositories before we actually before we pick up the Stygian ivory. Fuel's only 8 here? Yes, because we have improved the state of the city here. Rack is now prospering, so we've got very good trade deals. So let's see. The Uttershroom is far out. No, we really can't rationalize going to Nook after the Uttershroom. It's just way too far out of the way. Dang. Hold on a minute. Can we actually... Oh, you know what we forgot to do? We forgot to offload the Scintillic. Uh-oh. That's a problem. Where can we offload that? Where can we offload that out here? Scintillic. Yeah, we entirely forgot to do that in Fallen London. The Iron Republic, yes, but I feel like that depends on the market, and that's a random chance sort of thing. I don't really want to rely on that too hard. We could just sail straight back to Fallen London. We're really not that far from it. Only London, then? Dang. You could sell them for a casket of sapphires in Rack. I'm sorry, we can what? No, we're in Rack. You, oh, you buy caskets of sapphires for that. Okay. That's not too bad, then. So maybe we change our route a little bit here. Since we've got all these problems. We will convert these into a casket of sapphires. And then instead of doing anything like that... So Scintillic is only worth... Not that much, right? It's worth less than caskets of sapphires in most places. Yeah, Scintillic is worth 70, I want to say. Echoes in London. Caskets of sapphires are worth 100 in the right place, and that right place is the Chelonid. The Chelonid is also one of the locations that we can actually use to go and get the Stygian ivory. And the Chelonid is also far enough out of the way that we should be good to go to the Uttershroom first. Sapphires are also 90 in London. Yeah, so sapphires are definitely the better option for us to have here. We'll go and trade the Scintillic in here. Or caskets of sapphires. I want to make sure that I hold on to 1, though. Yeah, 2, so 1 more. That'll give us that much casket of sapphires. We'll be able to offload that in the Chelonid. That'll make us able to really fill up our fuel and supplies without worrying about overflowing when we get there. So we can, I think, buy this up to 30. That should give us the ability to sail across the seas, and the supplies will get up to... Let's say 20? Yeah, 20, because it is very cheap here. It's exceptionally cheap. And then by the time we get to the Chelonid, we should have cleared enough space there that we'll be able to buy those 40 bits of Stygian ivory for cheap. In Dahoot, you can trade 11 caskets of sapphire for a captivating treasure. That's true, but that's also... well, it's not the worst thing in the world. I don't think we would go for that trade. Captivating treasures have not really been our primary options here. Just giving some options. Yeah, that's a fair option if we do end up needing a captivating treasure, but probably not not what we're going to go for at the moment. So we'll go and make our way to the Utter Shroom here instead of Nook. And actually going up to the Chelland, it actually gives us an opportunity to visit Hideaway. Because that will be on the route from the Chelland to King Eater's Castle. This should be... is this the Shepherd Isles? Yes, this is the Shepherd Isles. We'll go dock here, pick up a port report. Do a whole lot of not much elsewise. So really docking at locations that we don't have anything to do is not going to be too much of a benefit to us anymore. Suppose we can reduce our terror a little bit. No harm in that, and it only costs us 5 echo. Let's have a picnic at the Standing Stones. This is the first time we've seen this option, I'm pretty sure. The bearded villagers will sell you mutton stew and kefir, and stone bottles of cold, fresh spring water, and row you over to the stones. Sure, why not? A peaceful afternoon. Your zailors watch the fireflies shimmer, swap shanties, pass round the grog, and shy stones at the more vampirically inclined... oh, shy stones. I think that is equating to throwing stones. At the more vampirically inclined Z-bats. Grasses nod in the breeze across the dark waters. The lights of Abbey Rock glow watchfully. So we lost 3 terror for that. That's totally fine. And we're all good. We're all done here. Let's keep on our way to the Utter Shroom, which is just straight across here. So we will make our way slowly, carefully, across there. We'll see if we encounter any Z-beasties over in the Sea of Lilies. Not too much here. We don't need to dock since we already have that port report. We'll just carry on right past. We should be coming up on the Utter Shroom here in a second. Or we can trade three firkins of prisoner's honey. Or blemigans. Or maybe just the one. I can't recall if something awaits us is required to get that. Because I don't want to hold on to one of them. For our friend over in Hideaway. There we go. Okay, yeah, so that doesn't require something awaits us here. Go trade 1, 2, and 3. Oh, that'll actually give us supplies as well. I totally forgot about that. So we've actually got way more supplies than we need. And what else should we do while we're here? Suppose we might as well visit the village, reduce our terror some, even though it's... Oh no, that'll actually gain our terror. Okay, that's a new one. A day of spores. The utter shroom releases spores according to his own inscrutable schedule. Today, the air is soupy thick. They coat your hair. They clog your throat. They gather like sleep in the corners of your eyes. Conversation with the shroomers is impossibly hard. You return to the ship, where you find a tiny purple mushroom already growing in your ear. Well, we got a Tale of Terror for that. Okay, not quite what I planned on. But now we've got those Blemmigans. We've got the ability to spread them out all over the place. Let's head to the Chalanet. Oh, big old crab there. How much health you got? 300? Plenty, but we don't want to take anything off of you, so we'll just leave you alone. I suppose we can stop at Polythreme. I don't think we have anything distinct for here. That said, we do need to burn some time so we can eat our fuel, eat our supplies away, because we've picked up way more than we need here by trading those Blemmigans. Could cure some sharpness. Probably not. We'll not warn the merchants about rack, and we could sell the casket of sapphires, but we make 4 more echo apiece every time we go to the Chalanet, so... And we're headed there anyway. So let's continue on there. And I suppose we might as well stop by at Khan's Heart and everything. We can send more ships over to Rack while we're there. And it'll burn some more time, which will burn some more food. See, Khan's Shadow we can visit afterwards, I suppose. Just slowly trundle our way over there. Ever so slowly. There's a whole lot of empty ocean between us and where we're going. Ah, another nightmare. No. No. 18 terror? Ugh. One day I would really like to get that Nightmare's Menace out of the way, but facing it is definitely a poor option, considering the last time it practically murdered us dead with that mutiny. Luckily our terror is still pretty well within check. 31, that's really not that bad. The only underwater location we have to visit is Hideaway, too, so it should be alright. We'll go here. Go lure an adventurer to Rack. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Open up the Nefrit Quarter, though I don't think we'll need anything from the shops here. Check out what our spies need. Captivating treasure, nah. That is way too expensive. Please cycle that out. Prisoner's honey. Doable, but not right now. We will need to do that at a later date. Let's check with the shops before we try to put this Blemigan ashore. I don't think we need to buy anything. And in fact, we don't. So let's go try to put the Blemmigan ashore. It's a 40% chance, 2 of 5. Not too bad. There are no laws specifically forbidding the seeding of Blemmigans on Khan's heart. It is unlikely to make you popular, however. And a success off the bat. A victory for discretion. The damp and dark places of the city are fertile ground indeed. In the months that follow, Blemmigans stalk the guttering of Khan's heart, pullulate in the shadows of the alleys. They menace citizens after dark with their sinister poetry. Okay. They steal dogs and house bats and the occasional baby. Trade, prosperity, and security suffer outrageously, but by then you are long gone. Lovely. So we've got some more propagation going on. And no suspicion gained either, which is actually pretty nice. Now we will head to Khan's Shadow, I suppose. And maybe we will pick up more fuel. How is our hold space doing? Still got 20 to clear. 20 spaces here. That is a problem. I would really like to not set off, because the thing that'll disappear more quickly than the other is the fuel. That'll go way more quickly than supplies will. And unfortunately, if I don't want to toss any supplies overboard, which I really don't, that'll mean that I'll be running low on fuel, which is questionably worse. Because down in the southeast portion of the map, there's not many places where you can stock up on fuel. We could burn the supply, the excess supply. Yes, but I'd really rather not having to do that. Maybe I'll take a different route. We'll double back on ourselves. Go to Aestival, pick up that Sunlight Catch box, and then Hideaway, and then the Chelinet. And then drop by to Hoot if we happen to need more fuel by then. Yeah, I think that'll be what we do instead here. And hopefully we won't get a wound with this mirror catch box of sunlight. Oh, actually, we should go to Hideaway. We'll leave Aestival for a while. We're on the way down. That way there's less of a chance for one of our crewmates, our ruddy crewmates, to open up the box, the sunlight box, while we're en route to Adam's Way. Because that's been happening with a lot of the ones we've had previously. Oh, Lauren Fluke. No. And, of course, the lights are burning blue. We'll just be all like, huh, blue lights, huh? Blue. And they'll get all calmed down. So, how far are we out of Hideaway? Decent ways. There's a behemoth stash, but we don't need to tangle with him at the moment. We'll just go and submerge here. A little ways out. We've got our terror at 34, so we're doing all right in terms of not being pursued by the constant companion. And there's Hideaway on top of a big old crab. And I suppose this will actually clear out some space as well for the mushroom wine, the firkin of prisoner's honey, and the dark drop coffee beans. It's a good thing we visited this place first. Let's go grab the port report. We won't... Well, do we want to trade some supplies for goods? I think not. Oh, we can introduce a Blemigan here, too. Let's introduce a Blemigan to Hideaway. Maybe it can provide the beast that carries the city some measure of companionship. Welcomed. The Blemigan rushes towards an open grate and leaps into the darkness. A worker standing nearby smiles broadly. She waves at a group of her fellows to gain their attention. Then she points down and sweeps her hand up to her heart. She takes a few side steps before throwing her hands into the air. What could she be saying? Her coworkers nod, raise their own hands into the air, and sway for a moment. It's unclear whether they're happy, but they're certainly not displeased. So we've got another Blemigan sent out, and we are not rejoining the festivals there. Not a chance. And let's go check on the investigator here. The impolite investigator ignores the pattern of resting and waking established in Hideaway. He never seems to sleep. At all hours, he can be found asking questions or studying the city. And today, no, here it is. The impolite investigator ignores the customs of sleeping and waking established in Hideaway, blah, blah, blah. Today, however, he's withdrawn to his room and is unduly quiet. What's he up to? Miserable realizations. The investigator is curled on his bed, but sits when he notices you. I need something to help me relax, clear my head. Anything. I'll try anything. Hideaway is doomed. It'll crack or be left on the Z floor, sir. And I'm the only one who knows it. His eyes are bleary red. It's Temtum. The beast is growing. Should have already shed its shell, but I guess it's willing itself to hold on. It can't beat biology, though, can it? It's going to outgrow Hideaway soon. He drags himself from the bed. Everyone here needs to know. They need to leave. I'll compile my notes, and then we must tell them. Please, sir. They won't listen to me. They dislike me. But if you said something... Ooh. That's a problem. Okay, so that's why he's sad. Oh, man. So we can speak to the sprightly visionary here. Or we can begin the war, which is using fuel up. I'm not so sure I want to do that. Let's speak to this guy. Surely that's not... Yeah, that is not using a Searing Enigma here. Let's go talk to him. He's waving to you from a brightly lit alleyway. A request. The sprightly visionary shows you a page of the notebook chained to his wrist. He's written a request for you. The investigator threatens to destroy Hideaway and everything you and I have worked towards. He must be killed. Okay. So the visionary here, friend of the nearly dead man, the formerly nearly dead man, now the just normally dead man, is now asking us to kill the investigator. Shoot, the investigator is just giving the truth here. Like, this place is going to eventually decay. The shell is going to be shed. And things will go wrong. We can refuse or we can accept. Now, the last time we came across a situation like this was in Varkas, where the then jewel-turbaned youth wanted to start a revolution, pointing out that the dark isn't actually unholy or whatever Varkas seems to think it is, which is pretty much the truth. But we ended up siding with the establishment there. I think it's in our character to side with the establishment here too. We've given supremacy to Fallen London. We've given supremacy to the Dawn Machine, which is kind of establishment, and we gave the choice to Vargas over the jewel-turbaned youth. It's a little more personal this time. We have to murder the investigator, but I think that's the option we're going to take. Yes, and I think it is. We'll accept. Let's murder the investigator. The sign showing you accept responsibility for a task. You must cross your arms to grab your own shoulders, then... Eric tuts and stops you mid-acceptance. He scribbles you a note. No time. You know where he sleeps. Suggestions smothering, less obvious. Once you've read it, he tears the sheet from his pad and eats it. It is 2 days before the investigator is discovered. He died in his sleep. A peaceful end. If anyone wonders why his skin has a blue tone, they're too polite to ask. I'm terribly sorry, my friend. Everything will be maintained in Hideaway. The truth is that all's well in Hideaway. No one knows otherwise. We've gained a Tale of Terror, we've gained some iron, and a searing enigma. And we have a final request from the sprightly visionary. He presents you with a note. I have a request for you. Will you accept? Sprightly visionary presents you a letter. Unmask the governor of wisdom. Tell him his captain orders him to hide away. Say, I swear by Lady Miriam the consequences will be morbid if duties neglected. Then he performs a bow of gracious thanks, then departs. The governor of wisdom. Wisdom is the... Is that the prison? I think it might be. Okay, so... we have to go to wisdom on behalf of Eric. I can't recall what it's actually named. Wants us to go to wisdom. Convince the governor to go to hideaway. Okay. Well, we have that quest. We'll check on their goods. I doubt they have much for us. Yeah, nothing great. Fuel is actually pretty cheap here, though. We are a little low on that. Yeah, actually, fuel and supplies are great here. No, wait, that's... Oh, that's selling your fuel. Okay, yeah. Never mind, never mind. Definitely don't want to do that. Okay. Yeah, that's all we've got to do in Hideaway here. We've doomed their civilization in the long term, but in the short term, everything will remain peaceful. So let's head over to the Chelinet. I suppose we may as well head on the surface. So we'll head up to the Chelinet. We will offload a whole lot of stuff, probably. Maybe. Oh, that is the Chelinet. To our left, this is an offshoot with the Eater of Names patrolling it, which I'm not sure we want to tangle with at the moment. Well, no, because we're doing deliveries right now. We're not doing quests. He only, I say only, for a boss monster, he only has 700 health, whereas the other ones had like 900 and 1,000. I think it was, for the Tree of Ages and the... I want to say... Mount Nomad, that's the one. Mount Nomad. Both had a lot more health than he does. And he's also a ship, so theoretically we should be able to stay on his aft and stay safe. But we've docked in the Chelinet. How much hold space do we have? Not enough. We can put our Blemmigan ashore, but we know that it immediately gets stabbed. So it's probably not the best option here. Oh, right, we can offload our casket of sapphires. That might put us over the edge. In fact, I think it does. So we'll sell off all but the one required, and we will pick up our Stygian ivory here. All 40 of them, which will fill up the rest of our hold space. We won't be able to carry more than this combined amount of fuel and supplies. 40 Stygian ivory, please. Thank you. And that's all we've got for that. I don't want to drop the Blemmigan ashore. He might have an aft cannon. I think it's still better to soak up that aft cannon than having to face off against the front cannons for the Eater of Names. But I don't want to put the Blemmigan ashore. I think he's just going to get murdered again. So we'll go and set off down south. First to Dehoot. Yeah, Dehoot. And then to Aestival. Maybe to Aestival, then Dehoot. Yeah, Aestival then Dahoot to burn off our supplies, and then we can stock up on fuel and however many supplies we end up determining we need. That'll give us a little bit more of a fair tally. Minimize the amount of time with the sunlight. Yes, but if we do it this way, we can burn off some of our supplies, which we need less of, and we can gain, therefore, more space for fuel, which we need more of. And the nightmare's back. No thank you. Unfortunately for us, we've now lost both of our restful nights. Which is going to be a problem. If that Nightmare's Menace comes back, we'll hopefully be able to fight it off. It's now at 7, I want to say. But we'll have to do it with a much harder skill check. But we've made it back to Aestival here. To our Harbor of Sunlight, where we can go fill up this mirror catch box at risk of wound with some sunlight. We got a wound. Okay, but we've got the sunlight-filled mirror catch box. If anybody on my crew freaking opens this up, I'm going to be so mad. Grab a port report and we'll set off. We don't need supplies. We're trying to reduce the number of supplies we've got. And yes, we'll head over to Dahoot. Have we offloaded a Blimmigan at Dahoot? Can we offload a Blimmigan at Dahoot? I don't know if we have already. How is our terror doing as well? 49. So we're on the cusp of having the constant companion find us when we go underwater. Okay, that, I believe, is the edge of Polythreme, so Dahoot should not be far off. Yeah, just a little bit more. I think, is it by this face that we can submerge? Let's say yes. Alright, Screaming Face is present. We'll go top off on fuel, I think. Food should carry us for a little bit of time. I suppose we'll... yes, we haven't introduced a Blimmigan here. So yeah, let's go do that. We've got a 100% chance of success, apparently. Contrasting hues. Introduce a Blimmigan. Surely it would thrive in these fertile gardens. Contrasting hues. At first, the whole island looks hospitable, but if you look more sharply, you can see where the rock is stripped bare and where fish consume every fragment that drifts in from above. Only a few spots are proper homes for your Blimmigan. You set it in its place. It is truly bright and sets off in the false color of the drowny blossoms and the drowny fish. The flowers that grow here are natively red and gold and orchid purple, but they fade to drab if you look at them from the corner of your eye. And we'll grab the port report here. That'll, of course, not be very interesting. It'll be false. And we'll open up the shops tab here. So I think supplies will be all good on. Right? Want quite a bit of fuel. Yeah, I think we'll just top out on fuel. We'll ignore supplies for now. So we should be good with the current supply that we have to go down to... Fathom King, or King Ear's Castle. Down there. And I suppose we might as well just take the eastern route. Right? No, because the only entrance is on the west. So let's take... Yeah, the route kind of passes by Polythreme, then by the Utter Shroom. Might not have enough supply. I think we'll be all right. It's a long journey. Maybe right. Can I grab some anywhere else here? Empire of Hands, maybe. Does the Utter Shroom have a shop on it? I feel as though it does not. Yeah, I very much feel as though it does not. So let's head over across to the Empire of Hands. Or maybe the Melting Isles. Yeah, no, the Melting Isles is a way better option for that. We can go collect supplies there. And then we'll be set. But fuel we cannot get in most places down here in the southeast of the map. And we'll go turn off our lamp while we're close to the Utter Shroom, while we've got all this light in the water around us. Off here while we're coasting around the shore, and on again. The Melting Isles here. That'll be able to top us off. We've got something awaiting us. And we're happening upon the very jungly area that is the Melting Isles. So we'll go and dock here and we'll scavenge some more food. But we will not pick up a passenger. No way. No way, no how. Grab a port. Did that actually give us a supply? I think it did. Wow, just grabbing a port gives us some supply. That's not too bad. But, I think we'll just grab straight supplies. There's no shops here to speak of, unfortunately. We've gained 3 supply, which will be perfect. That should be enough to tide us over for sure. I would have loved to pick up more fuel, but it's not going to be an option here. And now we just head to King Eater's Castle. I think if you put a Blemigan here, you can't get supplies. Oh, really? Huh. Okay. I'll save that for a later Blemigan date then. While we're close by the shore, we'll turn that light off just to save on a little bit more fuel. And then it's a lot of empty ocean here. Oh, ship or... Nah, it's a lighthouse. What lighthouse is that? No clue. There are the edge of the hands of the sea. What is it? Sea of Statues, I think, is right outside King Eater's Castle. Seeing the very edge of that. Hopefully we don't need to dodge by any... Oh, for goodness sake. Okay, another nightmare. 65% chance. And a success. Lovely. And that nightmare strength is becoming something we can actually tolerate. We will make our way over through the Sea of Statues to King Eater's Castle, where we can finally get our engine here that the tireless mechanic has been rattling on about the whole time we've been talking to him about his quest. we are here. Now, we can actually heal our wounds by sacrificing 3 zailors. Probably won't. But we do have the ability here to construct the fulgent impeller. Hopefully it doesn't eat all of these crewmates. That actually would be terrible. I think it actually will. Shoot. We should have filled up on those. Well, I hope the engine's good. Let's go construct it. Let's construct the fulgent impeller. Under directions from the mechanic, your crew piece the slabs of black ivory together as the ancients were said to assemble stone walls without mortar. Sometimes they may saw a piece in half or braid its sides to make it fit, but the work proceeds with surprising speed. The impeller begins to take shape. A squat, heavy-shouldered shape like a scarecrow being built, built to resemble an engine. I don't think this is engineering anymore, the mechanic confides. Possibly it's witchcraft, but I don't really mind. He rubs his hands. Kind of cool how this quest is literally impossible to do without a better ship than the starter. There are a lot of those, and I guess it does lock it to endgame sort of things. But we've now got the new part of that. Destiny's engine. Now the mechanic wraps ivory segments with wire and scalds them with acid. He stains them with blood. I'll need some of yours too, he says apologetically. You're the captain. He studs bones with sapphires. He has the sailors bring up his last 2 custom-made components, an assemblage of copper tubes in which he places the element of dawn, and a steel capsule the size of a barrel, which he has the zailors lock into the impeller's black bone core. Almost ready, he affirms. It just needs a spark and a heart. He looks to the unsettling sage. Yes, I know, the sage says, a little sadly. The heart is Destiny's engine. He climbs into the capsule at the impeller's heart and locks the framework into place behind him. Oh, he's going to live in our engine. Okay. The mechanic strikes the tubes which contain the element, and it spits forth a sizzle of rosy light. The ivory blazes instantly with energy. The capsule, instantly incandescent with heat, seals shut forever. With a ticking sound, it slowly begins to cool. The impeller stands radiant and whole before you, a jigsaw of heatlessly blazing ivory with a martyr at its core. What a relief, the mechanic says. I wasn't entirely sure that would work. He claps you on the shoulder. My work is done. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, and we didn't lose the crewmen, so that's great. Okay, we got all of that out of our inventory. We have the fulgent impeller. We've gained 10 terror, unfortunately, but we also gained a searing enigma. Yeah, so that must be him done. So is that on our ship now? Yeah, it looks like it. Whoa, look at that. Fuel efficiency, plus 50, engine power, 5,000 iron, 5 mirrors, 5. Yeah, that's fantastic. That's way better than our current engine here. So we'll need to go and sell this here when we get to Fallen London. Fuel efficiency, 50%. That is amazing. I think with all of our fuel efficiency combined, fuel 10% plus 5%, 15, 65% fuel efficiency that we've got going with this engine here. That is an amazing engine. It was absolutely worthwhile in getting it. So what does he have left to do? Nothing. Nothing. He's all done. We can get him to sleep some more if we have any serpent traps to get boxes of very angry dream snakes. Or proposition him if our pages were high enough, but yeah, wow, fantastic. Okay, that's really not that bad then. From here we'll set off to Varkas, then to Adam's Way. Oh, and we set off at speed. Wow, look at this. We are just speeding around the Sunless Sea here. We can outrun pretty much anything here. And at having our ship travel at less of a fuel cost. That's just amazing. That's fantastic. This will keep our terror in check a little bit as well. It has jumped up there because we gained 10 terror, I want to say, from creating the engine. But Okay, and our ship actually changes color too. That's really interesting. We've gone to Vargas. We'll grab the port from here and check out that new settlement. Still doesn't want to listen. Still doesn't want to leave with us. Honestly, with this, you can get rid of Milebreaker and add the secure compartment. I could. I don't have the secure compartment though. I only have that concealed compartment. So we'll just have to hope that none of our crew opens up that box before we get to Adam's Way. Though at the pace we're going, we will probably get there in no time at all. So why did we... here we go. Oh, I see. It's not that we're changing color. It's that... I'm a fool. It's that we got out of range of like lights and the shore. So obviously our ship's lights change color. Duh. But yeah, we really move at a clip now. We are speeding through the Sunless Sea. It'll probably only take us minutes to reach across the entire Sunless Sea. This is amazingly fast. I love this. I can absolutely see why they would lock this to an endgame, because this is definitely the best engine after all. Fantastic. Okay, Adam's Way. We will feed them some unread logs. No, let's feed them the port report. Nothing is to be gained from the port report now that we don't have the Admiral. So I believe we have to go up here to go and get that elegiac cockatoo here. Let's purchase the elegiac cockatoo for the Poissonnier. Algernon is the sober showman's beloved pet. He claims he can never part with it. It reminds him of his bright, carefree childhood in Her Majesty's old surface colonies. Well, guess what I've got for you? A box full of memories, also sunlight. He speaks wistfully of Bombay afternoons, the slant of the sun through the windows, his tutor's dusty voice reading Chaucer, the smell of cardamom rising from the kitchens. Wordlessly, you take out your mirror catch box and open the lid, just a fraction. Sunlight fills the tent. The showman's eyes fill with unsomber tears. When you close it, he gives a strangled gasp. He has forgotten what you were discussing. Won't you open the box again, just for a moment? He asks, he begs, you demur. Name your price, he blurts. Its name is Algernon. Our Bandaged Poissonnier is definitely going to murder this beloved bird. Oh, I feel so bad now. Oh, I feel terrible. That dude loves this bird. We basically just drugged him to get this bird from him. We're awful people. We are horrific people. What do we just do? Oh, and that kicked us out too. I can't believe it. Okay, well, let's talk to our officer here. Let's talk to the Bandaged Poissonnier. No, man. Let's give him the elegiac cockatoo. When the bird sees the galley, its poetry becomes doubly heartfelt. I'm so sorry, friend. Final piece. Ah, he is magnificent. Come, my solemn feathered compatriot, let us work wonders. We will be the best of friends for a little while. They vanish inside. The bird's poetry, even muted, does little to improve the mood of the crew. Several days later, Poissonnier throws a sack of feathers overboard, yet somehow gloomy couplets continue to drift from the galley's porthole. Ah, Captain, all is ready, though we will need wine, lots of wine. Is he alive and just plucked? Oh my god, I've done terrible things. I've done horrific things. That poor bird. That poor beloved bird. 5 crates of mushroom wine. Make your way to the Fathom King's Hold. Okay. Fathom King's Hold. Oh, okay. Fathom King's Hold. I thought that was King Eater's Castle. We'd have to return there, but no. We should be able to do this. Oh, man. Okay, well, let's buy ourselves fuel here, and we'll go get supply at Port Carnelian, and we'll return back home. Honestly, at the rate we're speeding through stuff, this will 10 will get us fine. Yeah, we are so fast now. Should have gone for the fluke core. You're not wrong. Those birds are hopefully not going to call our name. The names of those about to die. Hopefully that's not us. Surely not. Yeah, it is great to be this fast. It's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. We'll hug the shore here to avoid increasing our terror anymore. I wonder if this extends to half speed at all. Probably not, judging by how the other engine upgrades didn't seem to do the same. It will probably lend itself to backing up speed, I would assume. I would hope that it would. But that, if it does, that'll actually let us get to fighting things a lot more easily. Yeah, this maneuverability will absolutely help us out. I'll actually try to test that. So let's back up the ship here. I think that's a faster backing up speed. Just by a bit. But we've made our way to Port Carnelian. Unfortunately, we don't have the, what was it, the romantic literature, right? Yeah, that they wanted to increase our capability over this. Probably just pick up some food here. Not very much at that. And call it good. Yeah, I don't think we need anything else here. We'll grab, let's say up to 5 food. And fuel. Nah, we're doing fine on fuel. We're doing great. Anything more to do here? Could. Yeah, let's go pan for sapphires. 23 echo. Lovely. And terror is actually a little high. I'll probably go visit the tea shop here to reduce that just a wee bit. That is still the one thing that could absolutely ruin us here, is just having a poor terror roll. So we'll just skip the Grand Geode, head straight to the Iron Republic. Well, we don't even really need to do that anymore. With the fuel consumption that we're currently going at, we probably just make it straight back to Fallen London. Man, it is so nice having this engine. Speed, efficiency, some stats to boot. That is just amazing. And faster speeds will mean less terror gained over time, so this is actually a double benefit. I guess we ended up at the Iron Republic anyway, just passively. Yeah, nothing to do here. Oh, right, because we don't have a something awaits us. That'll actually become a problem. Having not enough something awaits us to... not enough time to develop something awaits us. Oh my god! Okay, maybe we do move a little faster at half speed. But not having enough something awaits us to actually have something happen for us in whatever dock we're approaching. So we'll need to plan for wider trips around the Sunless Sea with this new engine. Which, you know, I'd say is still positive. That's still a net gain. What's up, Gillifleur? Goodbye, Gillifleur. And didn't we need to go to the Cumane Canal for something? I think for the Isle of Cats lady. Pretty sure she wanted us to go here to pick up somebody. A gift for the Pirate King. That's right. That one looks like a surface sailor. Surely you could coax him onto your ship. 58%. Success. Guests right. Guest rights. There we go. You can be charming when you exert yourself. You entice the surface sailor on board with promises of Z stories and Neath delicacies and bludgeon them over the head between courses. I thought we'd drug them or something, but no, let's just smack them with a soup ladle or something. They fall gently onto a bowl of sea lily soup. Yeah, I guess it was with a soup ladle. You order the crew, your crew to take the prisoner below decks and lock them up. They comply quickly, but you see them shoot dark looks at each other out of the corners of your eye. Yeah, I would probably do that as well. 84 terror. Yeah, we're a little haunted here. And we've now got suspicion. So let's actually throw the concealed compartment on. See how much fuel we consume without it. And that'll hide, presumably, this guy when we get searched in Fallen London, because we do have that suspicion now. And I assume that human prisoners are probably still frowned upon there. Okay. Without Milebreaker, that actually eats up, I'm pretty sure, just as much as it did before per mile. Yeah, so maybe I'll keep that on. I guess 65 to 55 fuel efficiency is still not spectacular. Not necessarily prisoners you docked with prisoners before. Yes, but this is a kidnapped prisoner. I feel like they would probably frown on that a little bit more than just a prisoner who did something wrong and was imprisoned for, shooting a crewmate or something like that. Dabbling in mysterious drugs. But we made it back. So we'll consume a lot less fuel from now on. Oh yeah, we've actually totally got nothing here. Nothing there. We've gained some more nightmare strength. Oh well. And not a whole lot else. But yeah, that's fantastic. We've got nothing more to do with the tireless mechanic. We finished off his quest. He's given us a fantastic engine, the Fulgent Impeller here. We actually need to sell off our previous one for some cash. Which should be, was it here? Yeah, there we go. Make 500 echoes off of it, which isn't too bad. Apparently, the Serpentine is also another one here. Oh, it looks like it's from the Magician's quest. So check off another officer's quest finished. We finished off, presumably, the Monkey Foundling. We can't really do anything more with her. The Clattery Heir is all done. Now the Tireless Mechanic. The Albino Tinkerer, we kind of burned his civilization to the ground. So it wasn't a positive ending, but it was an ending. Irrepressible Cannoneer, we are just at the very edges of finishing his. We will do that if we ever get a forward weapon slot, or if we need that weapon for the Fathom King. Same with the Nacreous Survivor, all done. Bandaged Poissonnier seems to be coming to his end. We can actually buy up, 5 casks of mushroom wine. Oops, I guess we'll have 6. Let's go talk to him. Oh. Or, oh, right, no, he needs us to go to Fathom King's Keep. Fathom King's Hold. There we go. So we'll go and check that box off. We went and dealt with the impolite investigator. Unfortunately. I don't know if that was necessarily the right decision. We now have a quest from Eric, the fellow from Hideaway, to grab somebody, the governor, I believe, from Wisdom and bring him to Hideaway. And we have to head for the Bandaged Poissonnier. Have to head to Fathom King's Hold. Which should be easy enough with our brand new engine here. And our 5 mushroom wine. Other officers, though. We haven't started really at the Haunted Doctor. We finished the Indomitable Campaigner. Genial Magician we haven't done anything with. Maybe his rival we have. And the Merciless Modiste. So. I assume this precedes things. I may turn our ferret here into a dress uniform to gain a boost to pages. I do feel bad for the ferret, but he hasn't really done anything with his life. She's kind of horrific and terrifying, this merciless Mediste. But I think the ferret's not having a good time in the Sunless Sea at default. No, poor ferret. First the cockatoo, and now the ferret. How could you? He's not having a good time. He's just been sitting in our chambers. What is that called? In our room, basically, being depressed the entire time. At least this way, he will be presumably lovely. Oh, we actually need a royal blue feather to do that. Oh, so we'll have to get blue profits or milliner bats. Maybe not. Yeah, this fine set of clothes seems a little bit better. I would really like to boost our pages, though. But I do feel bad about doing the ferret in. Maybe we'll see. We'll see if he has any other uses, if we can actually make him feel happy. Didn't you just have a conversation with the moth guy about how nothing is worse than death? No. That was the result of that conversation. We thought that he escaped death. But yeah, the merciless Mediste, that'll be something that we come to next time. We don't really have anything to do here. Oh, Sans talking to our child. Let's spend some time with our family here. Hello, child. You know what? What the heck? You want a pet? Here you go. It is remotely possible that it will escape and eat someone. Probably just the parlor maid. Fear and wonder. Your child is disinclined to hug it, but its tank will take pride of place in their bedroom. Its staring eyes and pulsing fangs will inspire glorious fantasies of Z monster hunting. And that game is the same amount as the outlandish artifacts we've been giving him so far. So he is just about ready to become a scion. I think at 25, he becomes a scion. But we've now given him a pet. Don't have anything to do here. Yeah, nothing new to make. The voracious diplomat probably doesn't have anything for me. Really? You don't have any new details about the admiral, considering you seem to have deposed him? Roser's Wharf is doing nothing. We'll go and... Will we pick up a new recruit? Probably not. Our ship's totally full too, so we're doing great there. I think we'll call that a stream. We're about half an hour over now. We got a lot done in the stream. We got the Fulgent Impeller, our new very, very nice ship's engine, all finished up. We also dealt with, in massive air quotes, the impolite investigator. Well, I'm still not sure I made the right decision there. Of course, there are no real right decisions anywhere on the Sunless Sea, it seems. And we finished up our Tireless Mechanics quest. We do still have a few things to do. With our new ship, we can travel the seas pretty fast and hopefully hold our own when it comes to battles, which means we could probably start taking on a little bit more combat here. We have been avoiding the stronger enemies, but we do need to take on some of them for the collection quests that we have. We've got the ones for the Fathom King, where we need either the Heart of Mount Nomad or the Tree of Ages. And we need the figurehead of the Eater of Names for the Commodore. I think the Eater of Names will probably be the first one we take on of all those bosses. Beyond that, we still do have a few officers whose quests we need to undertake. Primarily the Carnelian Exile. I think we need to sail off a few sides of the maps here to appease her, as well as the Merciless Mediste will decide what uniform we pick up for her next time. And then maybe the Genial Magician, but it sounds like he gives a engine, which I'm not super keen on picking up. And then maybe the Haunted Doctor as well. And it looks like right now we are still at his introductory sections here. So we'll need to unlock that with just supplies. Those will all be things from next time. We also need to, when we come back next time, head down to the Isle of Cats where we can drop off the very much kidnapped surface sailor from the Cumaean Canal. We need to drop him off at the Isle of Cats to get as a gift for the king, who we've actually never met before. Beyond that, we've dealt with the principals over at Port Cecil. We may explore Nook, though I think we'll stop off at Igel to go and clear some of our Nook attachment. Other than that, yeah, we're kind of nearing the end here. I know I've been saying that for a long time, but it really does feel like we're just about ready to call this captain complete and get his kingdom set over at Aestival. We'll see what happens when that happens. When we do retire this captain, we'll see what his scion ends up doing. We'll see what exactly gets passed down. I really hope it's the ship and the engines and stuff. That would be fantastic. But in that next captain, we'll probably try to go for the Zong of the Z's, our victory condition. But as always, that will be for next time. So there's actually going to be a slightly different schedule. I will be gone next Tuesday, which would be when I typically stream. So I think the very earliest that I will be able to come back to Sunless Sea will be next Thursday, a week from today at 3 PST. Either that, or depending on how things shake out, maybe the Tuesday after that, also at 3 PST. I'll be back at one of those 2 times. I will be here for a Sevtech Ages stream tomorrow. If you're not just interested in some, if you are interested in more than just Sunless Sea content, I will be playing Sevtech Ages. We've just gotten to Age 4, the post-industrial era in that Minecraft mod. So we're going to go and expand out our factory there. That'll be tomorrow at 3 PST. I hope to see you guys at one of those 2 times. If not, I hope you guys find a fancy new engine that'll propel yourselves across your known areas at breakneck speeds so you can get to what you want to do a little bit more quickly. As for me, I'm going to propel myself right on out of here. That's the end of stream, everybody. Thank you for coming. Cheers, y'all.